2. All right, wait. I'm sorry. Wait, are we going to actually just?
Oh my. Yes, we're gonna start.
I'm kidding. Again, I'm sorry, people. Again, I'm sorry. Now, welcome to the first ever edition of Reroll Podcast, a podcast by gamers for gamers. I am Victor Logan, your host, along here with my co-host Miles,
Hey.
Chris,
Yo.
and last but not least, Michael Winder.
How do you do? I like that you added only my last name.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
I think only you were deserving of it. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, guys, what you guys been up to last week? Because it's been a crazy week with E3 and all these things going on. So, how about you, Chris?
Well, oh jeez. Okay, so I can safely say that my past week has been basically just World of Warcraft. I only got back into it recently, and I hit max level. Miss Pandaria, I came in pretty late, so now I'm just trying to do as much as I can. I played the game earlier, but just got back into it now, and it's awesome. I forgot how much I loved it. I'm actually playing with you guys, and it's amazing.
It's ridiculous. You get back in and you just can't stop. Oh my god.
That game seriously just draws you in and then just sucks the life right out of you, and I love it.
Oh my god. What's up?
Telltale signs of a abusive relationship.
Really. But that's pretty much been it. I mean, all I've been doing are dailies now, which is funny because I've played it so many other times before, and I've never quite gotten to this point where I have to do dailies. So whenever people talk about it, I'm like, cut your whining. But my God, it's just so much.
I know. It's like all this stuff. Like I just hit 90 as well. Like I haven't been doing any dailies.
Well, Michael would always tell me about him when he would tell me level up, and he'd be like, I would be like, oh, Michael, how'd you get like that hippogriff on fire? That's amazing. And Michael's like, dude, it'll take you like a month. I was like, God, you know nothing, Michael. But then it just tears me to shreds. Those things are nuts.
Oh,
and
I just shake my head and I go, he doesn't even know.
Of course, the one that introduced me to World of Warcraft, Miles, we got him back into it because he dropped it for a while, and
like 5 months, because I finally I was a raider for a very long time, probably like 4.5 years going on, and like I just played played like every day, every night, and the last guild I was in used to raid like 5 days a week when new content happened, and I was in college, and it just got to the point where I just couldn't do it anymore and do well, so I just stopped.
That does not help your grades.
So the first time I played with Miles was like 2 days ago, and Miles, I always keep hearing about how he's like this great thing, like great DPS. I'm like, baloney. All right, I'm in raid. It's really cool. I'm like, he's got nothing on me. We do freaking like, what do we do?
Onyxia's lair.
Onyxia. His DPS was like quintuple mine. It wasn't even close, and God knows it wasn't that hard, but it was just ridiculous.
Oh my god.
But that's been me though. That's been all I've been up to really.
Yeah, that sounds awesome though. WoW's always fun to play, especially with friends. Oh my god.
I would hate it if I knew no one else on it. I would.
How about that Diablo though?
Slowly drawing me from one Blizzard game to another one.
Don't worry, StarCraft is next.
Oh god, StarCraft.
I actually play StarCraft.
Micro
My
and
god.
macro.
Wait, Miles, I played StarCraft with you, right?
Yeah, it was me, you, and Mike Welsh, and then it's like
our friend Mike, who that friggin' StarCraft game. We were so bad. Like, it is so hard to be good at that game.
It takes so much work.
You play online, I don't know, after you beat, like, a normal computer, you're like, well, I can probably play decently against a human. It's not even close. You play the game for, like, 4 minutes and you're dead. Like, what did I do wrong?
Yeah, because I'm sitting there making all these, like, these construction worker guys and whatever they're called, I don't know. And, like...
STVs, yeah.
Yeah, STV. And then you click on them and they're, like, scared. They're like, you scared me.
I'm making buildings, I'm making submarines, it's all pretty.
You know it's bad when you're afraid of your own villagers.
I know. Oh my god.
But you see, Chris, the issue is your APM wasn't high enough for StarCraft.
That must have been the issue, Miles.
Yep. That's the answer to all things, is APM.
That game was just all Blizzard games, you got to put in a serious amount of effort, or else people are gonna tear you to shreds.
Yeah. Speaking of Blizzard, I can't wait to drop like another $800 to go to BlizzCon. Dude, that's gonna be awesome.
BlizzCon, all of us are actually going. It's so exciting.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm actually, but BlizzCon virgin. Are all of you have all of you gone in the past?
Yeah, I went last year. Last year was my first year, and it was pretty awesome. Like, it was crazy. Like, I didn't imagine like so many cool people would be there just to talk about like WoW and like other games.
That's so
And
cool.
the art and the statues everywhere was just great.
Yeah, this will be my third time.
This will be your third?
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you gone with Miles each
Yeah.
time?
Like the first time we both went was together.
Yeah, I think that was 2010.
So
I think
it seems
so.
like, so it seems like every single year you just add on another person.
Technically,
Versus-
but there was like the second year Michael didn't go.
Well, the first time Miles went was the first time I went, and
Yeah.
then there was a year that Miles went and I didn't go, and then I went and then there was a year that
They didn't have
Blizzard
it.
skipped,
They-
and then
have
the
it.
year after that Miles went, I went, and then Victor went. That was the last one that just happened.
Huh. And now this
Just
year
happened.
there's
That was
four
like
of us.
6-8 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that
Something like
didn't just
that.
happen. Never mind.
Yeah. But still, within the year. Within the year.
Well, if the pattern continues, we have to make another friend.
Oh, we could write Sean.
The drummer in our band,
Yeah. Oh my god.
the one who his favorite video game is Pong.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Let me
And
tell
don't forget Dragon Ball Z Budokai. He's really good at those two games, though.
Like, let me tell you, he'll kick your asses in Pong. Like, it's not even close. And when you play Sean in Pong, you play for slaps. Which means that this kid, if he beats you, he gets to slap you across the face. But if you beat him, you get to slap him like 4 times across the face. Well, he's so good it doesn't even matter.
Because you'll never get to hit him.
You'll never. It's only happened once. Only once has he lost, and I witnessed it, and it was amazing.
Oh man. But so Michael, what have you been up to this past week of E3 and all this stuff going on?
Well, considering that we are all friends, basically the same thing. I've gotten back to World of Warcraft quite a bit more. I've started doing some more dailies. Once I hit 90 with my druid, I just sort of dropped off of WoW for quite a while because I've been doing dailies for 3 expansions at that point. Burning Crusade, Wrath,
Yeah.
and Cataclysm, and I was just like, screw this.
My soul. Oh my god.
And I think the straw that broke the camel's back with it was when they put, at the time, Valor gear was linked to
Oh yeah, the
reputations.
reputations. Yeah.
And so you had to grind reputations in order to get the gear for Valor.
Oh,
So then raiding meant nothing
really?
if you didn't grind anyways, yeah. And I was like, nah, I've had enough
so
of
like,
raiding,
wait,
I've had enough.
was this in Mists?
Yeah.
Missed.
So
It was even
in
worse.
order-
Like there was so there was a reputation Guardians of the Golden Lotus, something like that, and that's actually gone now for story reasons. But you actually had to do that one first, and then after you did that one, it opened up 2 other ones that you also had to do.
hmm
Oh,
So you had to
That's-
grind.
that sounds terrible. Oh man, isn't it neat, Michael? How when other friends join the game again, it kind of brings a new life to it a little bit.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was pretty awesome. All of us playing again, like getting back into it. That's what made it fun again. Not going by yourself, because that kind of.
Of
Not
course.
much
It's an
fun.
MMO for a reason. It's not.
Yeah.
No MMO really stands up on its single player experiences, except for maybe Star Wars Online. So
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah,
But,
the SWTOR.
yeah, SWTOR. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
that's questionable.
That's questionable.
Like
No,
okay, so
I
SWTOR was.
hates that game.
I don't hate it. It was good to a point, but my problem with SWTOR is that like I only ended up caring about my own main story, and then once I got to the point where I'm now a Sith Lord, why am I going to this planet of nobles and doing their crap and not getting any respect?
I know
Wait,
what you mean.
wait.
Actually.
So my question is then why in WoW does that not matter to you so much?
I don't know. I don't know why it bugs me so much in Star Wars, but in WoW I can accept it. Like, yes, you were a hero, you did all these great things. We have a greater threat now, and we
Because
need
in
your
WoW,
help.
at the end of the day, Miles can get to go into a raid and kill a giant boss who breathes lightning and
But I
basically
mean, even then though, when I did
Stop
the,
Breathes
like-
lightning.
When I did the quest thing, I always like accepted that, even though, because like they even bring it up sometimes, like when you first went to Ice Crown, they have all the people line up and like in a row who are lining up to join the fight against the Lich King. And when your character shows up, like, oh, you helped us so much, you can skip the line, just come here, we talk to our general. I'm like, like they make you feel like, even if it's not apparent by what you're doing, that you are a person who is important. Like you're a champion, you're a bearer of your faction, like you're just an important character in the story. So that's
pretty epic.
That's never bothered me as much in WoW as like another game where they put you to this real point of power in the story and the lore, but you go somewhere else and it's like it doesn't matter.
No, I definitely.
Yeah, I got you.
I definitely feel that.
Like,
yes, especially in the Star Wars universe, even during the point where like the whole Jedi Sith wars are going on, it still means something to be a Sith. So like, after in like the introduction or whatnot, you probably do something epic with your whole class quest, and then they throw you onto a planet and it's like, yeah, we need you to kill a couple bears. Like,
I'm sorry, but do you know who I am? I'm a Sith Lord.
Yeah, we know. Just go do it real quick.
I met Revan. All right. Yeah, no, I definitely get you.
Yeah, there's some cool things, but it has some good ideas. Like when Michael and I played a while ago, during like there was like like a couple-week trial or something like that. It was pretty cool how they had the story where like 2-player conversations worked. Because I always remember playing Mass Effect. I
really like that. Yeah.
That was pretty awesome.
The game did some things right. I think the way to explain SOTOR is too little, too late. So they. On release, I think one thing that killed it. On release, there should have been space combat, but there wasn't, because that is such a key. That is so key to the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, actually, they added that in a recent DLC though.
Well, the game's been out for like 2.5 years. I mean, and then now they're adding housing too, and I bet you the housing mechanic's gonna be awesome.
I don't know. The whole thing with the ship in that game was also kind of a letdown. Like you get your own ship, but you don't do anything with it, and you do on-rail shooters with it.
Oh, yeah, I never played it.
Hopefully that changed with the space combat. I'm just gonna throw them a bone and say hopefully they changed something, because I don't know. But I feel like if they at least had space combat during launch, it would have been received a bit better. And then because now they have like these other, they added a planet, they added another race, they added all this stuff. But my other issue is that the races were terrible. It's either do you want to be human or a blue human.
Oh yeah.
I never really saw Star Wars as like really going into all of the different like races that much. Like they sort of showed you the races, like
there was
movies and stuff like that. They showed you the races, and you're like, oh, those are cool.
Pretty much human.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I come from Star Wars Galaxies, which is an older MMO that died and was killed because of SOTOR. So I'm a little offensive against this game to begin with. But in Star Wars Galaxies, you could play as a Wookiee, as an Ithorian, as a Solisk, like as a Twi'lek. You could play as a Bothan, the dog people. So many crazy things. You could play as all these bizarre races, and it was really cool. And then to go from that to then like you can be a Twi'lek, a human, a blue human, or a red human. And it's like it's just like
or the guy from first Star Wars.
The thing is, I wanted to be a Wookiee badly, and then
only if you're a Sith.
And then you could only have a Wookiee as a companion, and I just wasn't a big fan of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just an issue I had with it.
Yeah, that's understandable. But so Wells, what have you been up to?
So, mostly, I don't know. Mostly, I've been just watching Twitch and stuff. That's what I just spend most of my time doing. Is like playing a game and watching Twitch. So recently on Twitch was DreamHack just ended for Dota 2, and Alliance won that, and that was pretty exciting. But other than that, what games I've been playing? Been playing Persona 4. Still need to finish that. Just working my way through that.
You gotta beat it 2 times to at least get all the endings and everything.
Oh yeah,
when I beat that game, I almost cried. Like I was so sad. I was sad. It was so awesome.
Is this the game that I've seen you play, Victor, where there's like the cutscenes like 10 minutes and it's just an anime?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I'm like, what is going on? It looks cool though.
Isn't that just a JRPG? Like
yeah, it is.
Very similar.
It's the best JRPGs of all time. I think at least. I put like at least 100 hours into it right now, and I'm going to beat it again. So like I'm going to finish with like 200 hours.
Sweet. That's
man.
nice.
Yeah.
But Miles, you've been playing a lot of WildStar, though, right?
Yeah, I was about to bring that up, actually. Thank you for the segue, Chris. Yeah, so I've been playing WildStar. I don't know. When WildStar was first announced, I wasn't really that into it. I was more excited for other MMOs like Elder Scrolls, and I haven't touched Elder Scrolls since it came out yet. But
Same.
Poor Elder Scrolls.
But I was like definitely more excited for Elder Scrolls than WildStar. But like WildStar, when it came out, like I tried the beta. It's like, oh, this is pretty good. I'll probably try it when it comes out full launch. And I ended up playing with some friends I played Dota 2 with. So I had to play the Dominion, which is like the evil faction in WildStar. When I was going to be an exile, which is the good faction, I suppose. But like. And so I had to pick a race I wasn't familiar with. The race grew on me as I was playing, and the Dominion they have like a religion, and the religion's kind of crazy because they're like, oh, you need to go and set yourself on fire to prove that you have the courage.
I remember
and it's like,
I remember you doing this, where you had to do all these like radical things.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
weird.
It sounds awesome though, but like, how's the gameplay and how's the quest structure? Like, is it like dynamic? Like, how dynamic is it compared to like WoW? I'd say.
So it's kind of the same. People call it like theme park MMOs, where like you go to a hub,
yeah.
you get your quest, and you go WoW. Like what WildStar does differently is like something WoW is doing more recently now is like you don't have to go back for a lot of the stuff. A lot of the stuff they just call
I
it like
love
they
that.
basically call you technically, and like you just turn in the quest then, and then you get your money reward or whatever else just given to you, and then you can keep questing that way. So you're like you can do a quest, complete it, and just stay where you are and do other quests that are around the area rather than going back and forth a lot, which is pretty nice.
That's pretty cool. Now, will this kill World of Warcraft?
I mean,
This is the WoW.
see,
Here's
here's one of my things
question.
with WildStar is like a lot of people who worked on it were from like the vanilla WoW team. That's from what I've been heard from other people, and like the whole idea is like they want it to be more like vanilla. So like there's not that many classes to begin with. The way combat works is basically you aim a reticle on the ground and different attacks at different reticles and different ranges and stuff like that. And like you actually physically aim your shots. So this is interesting.
I really
and,
like
like,
that.
and, like,
Sort of like if you've ever played Smite. Similar concept with Smite.
Mechanic there.
I think we were either just talking about WildStar. Not that many people played Smite. Just kidding.
Quite a few people have played Smite. But yeah, I mean it's the same ability. It's the same way that the abilities are used.
Yeah.
I think that works well, though. I think it's unique for an MMO.
Yeah, it's something different, you know. Like, I'm tired of everything trying to play like WoW. You know, that's the big thing.
Definitely.
Like we said earlier, WoW is so good, it killed its friggin' like it killed MMOs
It killed
because
the
it's so good.
genre.
It's kind of how like Call of Duty was so good, and then we got all these brown shooters. You know.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is like
What Call of Duty is now.
for players, I think it's more revolutionary, like that system they have for players than like enemies. Because technically, I've been raiding for a long time, so like technically, bosses already have this mechanic. It's just not visual.
That's true. That's true.
That is really true.
Another thing WildStar does is like if someone is casting that, like one of those effects, you have different abilities that will interrupt them. But they have like interrupt armor that you have to get through, and every ability that interrupts destroys an interrupt armor, so you have to like time it as a group to stop it. But what's interesting with that is like their whole system of that's like if you get disarmed in the game, it's not like, oh, I'm just waiting for a second, holding my weapon, but I can't attack. It's like, no, like your weapon is on the ground somewhere, you have to go get it. And you can't do anything while it's missing. Like you can't heal, you get nothing. You need to go get your weapon.
Disarm you.
Yeah, and it gets thrown on the ground.
That's pretty.
Ooh.
That's
And you
pretty
have
cool.
to go
That's
over and
interesting.
get it.
You know, that's pretty
I
cool.
love that kind of
Although
stuff.
I'm sure it would also be annoying to play against PvP.
In PvP, it's
People just throw
probably
things on the
annoying 'cause,
ground.
like they could disarm you and then stun you, and then it's like, then you're stuck in place, and your weapon you have to go still have to go get it after you get up.
I mean, is it obvious where your weapon is at least?
I mean, it should be. Maybe with more play, it would be. But sometimes, like, it's
Miles
disarmed, and
away.
like I don't even realize I'm disarmed for a bit, and I notice like, oh, my weapon's over there. I need to go get it. 'Cause I'm hitting buttons and like nothing's happening, because it's something you're not used to.
It's like
It's
me
in
when I
the
play
mix
Dota.
zone. I feel like that's such a cool mechanic, though. I love
I mean,
that. I
it's
love when
cool
they
for
make-
some things. For some things, it's super fucking annoying. Like when you get disoriented, it basically randomizes your button presses. So like W could be walking backwards, and D could be
kinda like
walking
that, too.
forwards, and like
Yeah, I feel like it's
I-
more you get more involved with the game. Like it's what I mean.
Yeah,
But
I like
it-
a break in the
Third
monotony.
version.
it
Yeah,
sounds cool, but in combat, it's super annoying.
I guess,
Oh,
but I'd rather have my key bindings messed up than like have WoW on just sitting there like days, like freaking Mortal
Exactly.
Kombat. Like,
I'd
like,
rather have that and like waiting it out personally, but I guess I'm just used to it. And then like,
yeah,
if you
that's
get stunned, the way you get out of stun is it picks a random key from like Q, E, A, D, and all the ones in between. Picks one of those keys randomly. You have to hold it to break out of the stun, and different stuns take different amount of time. So you're still stuck standing there, but you can speed up the time that you get out. And then
it seems like a bit more action
more
oriented,
involved. I think.
which I like.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like those mechanics. Sure, they're probably annoying, but that's the game.
Yeah.
And I don't know. But let me tell you, I can easily see how it's how it would be annoying, especially when you're used to a game that does the polar opposite, basically.
Yeah.
yeah. And then like if you get blind, your whole screen goes black except for a little part in the middle that keeps closing and opening, so you can barely see what's going on.
I
That's
hate
like
that.
that's like my favorite. That happens sort of in WoW. It's just stuff just kind of like blacks out your.
Not to that,
side.
not to the same extent.
No, not even close. But I don't know. I feel like that kind of stuff is interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's awesome to see like a new MMO trying new things. That's my thing. Yeah.
Yeah, just that. Because Star Wars didn't really. While I love it and I played it because it was Star Wars, I feel like it didn't offer anything too new.
To me, it played a lot like WoW, but I'm not a big, like I'm not the best MMO person to describe how it plays. But to me, it felt a lot like how WoW plays.
Same. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
It was was it hotkey MMO? Bunch of buttons at the bottom, and you just press them, and the things happen.
I know. I kind of like that though. Like that's one of the sad things I was with WoW. Is like, as time went on, Blizzard got more people to play, and they also made the game more simpler to accommodate new players that don't know all the like the advanced stuff. So, unfortunately, as a side effect of that, as someone who's been raiding for a while, like you lose a lot of like the actions you would do because the way they change it is, well, a lot of these buttons did similar things, so we're just gonna like limit it to certain parts of the class. So like before, destruction had like 3 dots. Now I have 1, and so like you miss out on some of that.
Yeah. See, but even as someone who's new to it all, I like the feeling of being overwhelmed. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I like going into something and being like, there is this vast opportunity to do everything, and I'm gonna be lost for weeks. You know?
I know.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's why you like games like Skyrim and stuff. Like, cause you just go in.
Yeah, because I just do it and I'll eventually learn.
Those are the best games.
And so, to me, it's kind of frightening to see games limit things a little bit, especially an MMO where it could just die. But I definitely see why they would. But like to me, that it loses some of its charm because I like it. So people like Miles have that advantage that is strictly skill. You know, he has that advantage because he has a deeper understanding of the keys and a deeper understanding of all of his abilities, and not so much based off of gear and stuff.
I mean, that's like I talked to you about. Like you're like, oh, Ret Paladins are like middle of the pack. I'm like, yeah, but in raids, it really doesn't matter because like even if you're middle of the pack theoretically, when you're actually playing with people, there are people that are gonna be better and people are gonna be worse, and it all matters. Like maybe your rotation and stuff isn't as hard because even now, like Destro is not supposed to be that good. And there was a warlock that came over and like we and Stacy were playing Destro, and then like we were crushing damage, and that warlock just couldn't keep up no matter what, and was trying to figure out stuff. Like so that skill is still there. It's just like different.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's just less, but definitely there's absolutely still skill involved in the game. It hasn't quite gotten there. Victor, how about you? What have you been doing this past week?
Dude, I've just been playing so many video games. I actually just got a game called Transistor, which is pretty awesome.
Oh,
Have you guys have you heard of Bastion? Any of you guys?
Yo, yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So like Bastion's made by Supergiant Games, and their soundtrack was awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's the ending song. Oh, dude,
Oh my
don't even
God.
get me started that game.
Makes me want to cry. So
Oh,
there's
wait.
two things that make me cry
So,
today, but
is this a spiritual successor to that?
no, not at all. It
Oh,
has
is
some
it
of the,
made by the same people?
it's made by the same people though. That's the thing.
Okay.
And the narrator comes back. Instead, he's like in this big sword you have, and he like talks to you through the sword every time you do something, which is pretty awesome. And it's really immersive when you do something funny and he's talking to you like you're an idiot, you know.
That's awesome. What's the playstyle like? Is it similar?
It's like I want to say mixing like a turn-based strategy game with Bastion with like Diablo. It's kind of weird because you have the
Is it turn-based?
it's not turn-based, but you have like 4 keybind buttons, right? And that each one does a different ability, and you can press the spacebar to pause it and plan out your attacks. So that way you can like coordinate on how you want to do stuff. And there's combos you can do, and there's backset. It's pretty awesome, yeah. And like the music's really good. You can even press tab, and she just starts like humming a song, and like she starts singing, and it's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm not too far, but what were you gonna say?
See, I beat Bastion and got pretty much all of the upgrades in like 2 playthroughs.
Yeah.
It's a simple game, but a great one. Is Transistor a similar way, or is it a bit more? It sounds a bit more in depth.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's like a lot of things you can do. So like, say there's one ability called Crash, and there's another one called Bounce. So like, you can put Bounce on top of Crash to alter Crash, kind of like glyphs in Diablo. So you can change the way different abilities work or whatever. It's pretty awesome. Played the hell out of that. I was gonna beat it, but we started playing Diablo 3. And once you start playing Diablo 3, you don't stop playing Diablo 3.
As we've learned.
We've been playing on what? Torment 2? Which is like the...
Yeah. We upped it from Master to Torment 2.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been awesome. That game with friends is so great.
Yeah.
And just making it hard makes it so much better. Because like I was saying, I was playing alone on like normal, I think.
You just steamroll through the game. You kill everything.
I just ran through that.
That is normal difficulty.
Yeah, but
I didn't
normal
even, like,
wasn't like that great. I don't think.
I
didn't even like.
Because what happened was like when the game first came out, normal was decently tough. It wasn't ridiculous, and then it used to go all the way up to Inferno. Inferno was like really hard, and like it was ridiculous. But it was so hard, it got to the point where Blizzard's like, oh, let's nerf it, and they nerfed it down, and then the difficulty kept getting worse and worse and worse as time went on. Now the new system is nice because now normal's extremely easy, really. And then the real difficulty you should probably play on as Master is probably what the old normal used to be. And then like the increased torments are definitely harder than the old Inferno once you get up to the really high torments, in my opinion.
Also, also another thing I've been doing on my Vita, I picked up Gravity Rush again, which is like this awesome game I played originally when I first got my Vita. I just feel like beating it again. It's pretty cool concept where you can shift gravity and fly around and do like aerial kicks and stuff, and like the music's awesome.
What kind of game is it?
What do you mean? Like it's kind of
like a shooter? Is
it? No. It's kind of like a adventure game, kind of. You're in this open world, and you don't have
like
guns
a platformer type, or
kinda, not really. It's like its own genre. It's really weird because you don't really platform. You just use gravity to like attack, kinda. But you can use the platform. There's not that many platforming events in the game, but it was pretty fun though.
It's on the Vita?
Yeah, it's on the Vita. That's good.
A console I should invest in eventually.
Yeah, you can wait.
You can get the PlayStation TV, which I would advise you to get instead of a Vita.
Of course, you would also need to get a PlayStation.
No, PlayStation TV just works on your actual TV, but we'll cover that like at the Sony conference.
Oh, look at that. Save it for National.
Because right now I got the 3DS, and let me tell you, that thing is like impossible to beat. As far as handheld consoles go, I feel like it's killing the Vita, but I'm not sure.
So the Vita's dead since arrival.
Yeah, the Vita's pretty much dead. Like we're just like, here's the PlayStation. They don't even call it a PlayStation TV in Japan. You know what it's called? The Vita TV. And over here, it's just called the PlayStation TV. Because
really?
like
they didn't want to be as blunt with it.
Yeah, no one wants a Vita over here. I don't know. I think it's doing worse than the PSP.
But everyone wants the freaking. Well, no, they finally stopped production of the PSP. I think this week actually.
Yeah, they just recently.
So the PSP is officially cut off, which
is
interesting. I bought one like last summer, and I finally started playing PSP games. Yeah, I was always a Nintendo guy. I was always skeptical of the PlayStation.
Why last? It just seems weird. Like, cause I don't know, cause like. The PSP, the only reason I played the PSP was Monster Hunter, really. Like, I got Power Stone, a couple other games early on when it first came out, but at the end of it was just Monster Hunter. That was the only thing I played on that thing for. That was it.
Never had one.
Let me tell you, I play that thing for freaking Patapon. Have you played that game?
Yeah, Patapon 2 was good. But like,
Patapon is awesome.
It was good, but it was no Monster Hunter.
I also felt bad when they would get hurt, because like, oh, my little buddies, it was all my fault.
Oh my God. It is such a unique concept. I was blown away at the concept of the game. It was all so unique and great. Great experience. There's 3 of them, right?
Yeah, there's 3. There's 3.
All right, I only played the first one, so I mean, I gotta still make it to the others. Just the games are kind of long too, but to me that made buying it cheap. I mean, the PSP was so cheap then. I basically stole it. I got that. I got Daxter for it, which that game's super old. I'm just such a fan of the Jack
Yeah,
series.
Daxter was pretty good.
That was pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, Naughty Dog's awesome. They don't make bad games.
Was that Naughty Dog like proper?
No,
I thought that was like.
I don't think the PSP one was, but I'm saying like in general the Jack.
Yeah,
series.
yeah, the whole series itself, great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that's been all of our weeks. Well, I mean, Vic, with you too, I gotta be honest, you've been playing a lot of WoW as well.
Oh yeah.
Anyone asked Michael?
Yeah, we started off with. Well, didn't we go?
Did
Did
we?
that.
Yeah, I was the first. I was the
Second one, yeah.
second
All
one.
right.
I got it. Don't worry, we got it.
All right.
Making sure.
All right, guys. Let's read
All right.
some news.
All
some
right,
news.
it's alright.
All right. So apparently, stealing Yu-Gi-Oh cards will put you in jail. Let me read this article. So 2 20-year-old men from Kobe, wherever that is, have been arrested for stealing a 15-year-old's Yu-Gi-Oh card collection. The 320 stolen cards were reportedly worth about 70,000 yen, which is like $685 US.
It always sounds like so much more.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Like, you just go steal Yu-Gi-Oh cards? Like, wow.
Yeah, this is like okay. So I follow different. They call themselves Yugi tubers. I hate that name, but it's basically people play Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's a nasty name.
Yes, they play Yu-Gi-Oh and they do
Cringe.
YouTube and like. So this has happened before. Like one of the guys, actually, he lives in Maryland, but his actual card shop that he goes to got robbed. And then another card shop got robbed, and it was like $300 estimated worth of cards. And like, so this has happened before.
Where do you sell these cards? On like the Yu-Gi-Oh black market?
You can just sell them online. Like the thing is, okay, look, the thing is,
Like
Yu-Gi-Oh
Have, like,
cards.
they don't have like serial numbers or anything like that. You just steal the card and you sell it. Like
No, but the thing
eBay
is,
or
like,
something.
yeah, you can go to
Whoa, what are
eBay
they?
and they
Are
sell
they
them.
just gonna go to another card shop?
They're
I
gonna
mean, I
sell
feel like
them.
this is
No,
ridiculous.
Chris, like it's eBay. You go to eBay and you sell them at like. So this one card was worth. Let me think. I think its price was around $60, $80 for one card. It dropped to like $20 on eBay, and I picked it up. Turns out that card was getting banned, and it did.
Wow.
But like that was a steal for the time. I still have the card, obviously. But like I have some other cards that are worth. I think one of them's worth 75. That might be my most expensive. I haven't really checked my cards in ages. But like the whole thing is, certain cards are worth a lot because they do a lot and they're worth a lot. Like they can do a lot for that deck. Like Tour Guide from the Underworld, when that card first came out, guess how much it was worth?
$80.
Too much.
$200 for one card.
200. Oh my goodness.
Dag.
That is so insane. Oh my gosh. But
Yeah.
wait, what? So these guys were arrested for stealing these?
Yeah, they were arrested. A couple 20-year-olds. Oh man, I've also had like a bad experience with cards because like when I was younger, my mom would like buy me Pokemon cards and like I would get so happy when I had a holographic card. So I got
Wait. Were you one of those kids who just collected them and never played? Just
That
like
was me
everyone
too.
else?
Yeah.
I have two binders of Pokemon cards I've never played.
I was freaking 8 years old. I know you were supposed to play. I can't even play Hearthstone. All right. I was supposed to-
The few Yu-Gi-Oh card, not Yu-Gi-Oh, the few Pokemon cards I got, I didn't understand because I was like, wait, hold on, how do you play? There's no numbers here.
Yeah.
How do you
Yeah.
know which one's the stronger one?
I don't.
I remember literally when I would buy the packs, I would throw away the like resource cards because I thought that I was like, this isn't a Pokemon. So
Stupid.
like I would straight up throw it away. Oh my! I didn't care. My mom was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "No, mom, this one's stupid." It's just ridiculous.
So, yeah, so I got a holographic Charizard, and I was so happy. I showed my uncle, who's only like 6 years older than me, and he had a holographic Muck, and he was like, "This card's better. Let me trade you." I was like, "Really, Unky?" I traded the card. I got
Your
holographic Muck.
uncle?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like holographic Charizard is like one of the most expensive cards now.
yeah, I got a holographic Muck exchange for a Charizard, and like Charizard's like my favorite Pokemon.
Your older uncle ripped you off for a
I
Pokemon card.
It's for my parents.
And not just that, he knew it. He knew
Yeah,
what
and
he was
he was
doing.
well aware of what he was doing.
Yeah, he was like 19 years old. I'm
How
like
old
10.
was this guy?
Like 19. I was like 10. Something like that. I was really.
Alright, that's not too bad. He's still a teenager. If he was
Yeah.
like 35,
Oh no.
Although if you
boy.
think about it, 20-year-old steals Pokemon cards. Happened
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
10
Oh,
years ago.
good. Ooh.
Oh my gosh, that is.
Oh my god.
So,
So,
I brought this up earlier. I was like, why do you think they came to this? Was this like a heist, or did they
What
like
the-
beat up this little kid?
did
Yeah,
you say?
I'm thinking he
Speaking
was just outside one day with his cards showing his friends, and some 20-year-olds just showed up and took it from him. Like, oh, that's a lot of cards. Give them to me. And they took them and walked away. Like,
I see them coming in like ski masks, dressing like all black, just like running up, grabbing as much as they can, and just sprinting. And the kids be like, "What was that?"
Look, being the king of games is a rough life.
Yeah.
You go out there and get mugged.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, you get a tough time out here on the streets. Oh man. But speaking of heists and robbing people, Payday 2 is coming to next gen or current gen, which is pretty awesome because it's
What
gonna
a
have
segue.
all the DLC.
I know. that's what I
I'm
was
gonna
thinking.
keep calling it next gen until it sorts itself.
That's what I
out.
think. So I think until they stop making like Xbox 360 games, they make PS3 games probably for like 50 more years. Who knows? But until they stop making Xbox 360 games, it's still next gen.
Nope, that was past gen. Next gen, because it's not next gen anymore because it's here. There's no, like, you know what I mean? It's weird because you
I'm
have.
on board with Victor because they kept making PS2 games and Wii game. I don't know.
I know.
I
the
feel
Wii
like
games like died. PS2 games keep going because Sony keeps making PS2s. But
Are they
like,
still making PS2 games?
but that does not
yeah,
invalidate the reason.
I think they probably still are. Who knows?
Oh my god, probably Japan. Japan's crazy.
You heard
Well-
it here. PS2 current gen.
Oh my god. But like, oh man. But I can't wait to play Payday 2 on my on like an Xbox or something because like my PC explodes when I try to play that game. It's ridiculous.
So much fun.
Is it
Yeah.
a very like demanding game? on
It's
the
not
PC?
even that demanding. It's just my computer
It's-
sucks.
No, there you go.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
there's your
it's-
problem.
I mean, it is sort of demanding because you do have a lot of stuff going on. Because at any time you can have like upwards of like 40, depending upon the heist, 40 like people moving around doing things like
40?
including smoke and detectors, and the game is trying to run itself plus internet connection
Yeah.
So I've
and
never
like
actually
all sorts of effects.
Yeah, so I've never actually played the game. I've only seen videos, and I was into it for a while, and I really wanted to get it, but it just never happened. It looks awesome.
My
You
main
gotta-
like
you
my main
gotta
gripe
explain
against
the
it is
mechanics
that
to me.
well before I say that my main gripe against it is because like they kind of changed one of my favorite characters from the first game to the second game.
Constant, yeah.
Yeah, and like I was like, what? He's some like little kid now? Like not a little kid, but you know, he's a
Yeah,
different character.
Hoxton used to be English.
Yeah.
In Payday 1, Payday the Heist, as it was called. But he was voiced by, I forget who he was voiced by, but he was the one English person in the group, and you could hear it in his accent and stuff like that.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool.
But in Payday 2, they replace him story-wise with Dallas,
Yeah, Dallas
with
is brother.
Dallas's younger brother.
Yeah.
But it's not a retcon because
Interesting.
they also have story-wise that Hoxton actually got caught on one of the heists, on one of the jobs, like during Payday 1, because that's when they do it. They have like the canonical, like, this is what happened when these happened. Actually,
Huh.
Victor, it was on Heat Street.
Oh, that makes sense. I got captured. I was like,
Heat Street, Heat Street is a jerk.
oh, I tried. Oh my god.
If you're gonna get caught on anything, it's that one.
It's-
But
it's like-
the most recent they have like a trailer out for their next real big heist DLC coming out, and it's the Big Bank Heist is what they call it, and it's a 3-day massive heist. And
It takes 3 days?
yes, 3 days. Not
In
3
game?
like in game, not actual
Yeah.
days.
Oh, okay,
Like,
okay.
one day is like a phase. Think of it like that. Like so with this one,
Sure.
the first day you go to the Benevolent Bank. It's literally a 4-story bank that has
Benevolent.
never been robbed before. And there's some footage up on YouTube about they have a brand new system of like pre-planning and stuff like that, where you can call in favors and use the money given to you to like if you want to, instead of escaping by a van, if you want to like one of the examples that they gave was driving a bus through a wall in the parking garage and getting out that way, or costing a lot more money and getting a helicopter in on the top floor. And then you can also like organize where you want certain things. Like if you want an ammo bag somewhere, you can say, well, I want it in the vault, or I want it at the front entrance. You know, they have a lot more.
All the money on just a fleet of buses. Just charge into the building.
Like the beginning of friggin' what's that movie? Batman. They only have one bus, but like
all of them. I won like 10 buses. The robbers gotta eat it. Like, listen, guys, we can't buy weapons. We can't buy masks. All right, I spent all the money on 10 buses, and we're taking this place down. Like,
oh my god.
That sounds really cool though. I like how you play as like as the bad guy, I guess, right?
Yeah. But you're not like evil, because if you kill civilians, you like lose money. You're not supposed to kill civilians or anything like that. Just kill all the cops. You know, that's fine.
Oh well, all right. In that case.
The one thing is like the better you get at it, I'll say, the better you get at it, the better you can do it. Like you'll get either more armor if you're more of a run and gun sort of type, or you can also do some of these in stealth, in complete stealth. Like I remember I did one called Election Day, where you actually go in and it's a 2-day heist. The first one, you go into shipping docks, and you have to sneak through. Well, you don't have to sneak through. You can just run around and shoot everyone in the face. But
oh god.
But
that's not really robbing anymore. That's just
well, I mean, it's
just homicide.
You're not, yeah. I mean, take your pick. I mean, homicide or
it's a heist either way.
But you have to search through the entire facility to try and find evidence as to where these voting booths are going. So that way you can mark them and have them, and so that way someone can rig them.
Huh. Well, that sounds pretty dope.
Yeah.
The game,
and I managed to stealth through it all. Like you have to find like trade manifests and stuff like that, and it's
yeah. No,
yeah,
so
it's pretty awesome.
It sounds like a game that would easily be ported to a console, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna work well. But
they've already done it for 360 and PS3.
Yeah.
They've had issues with updating it though, from what I've heard, just because, according to Overkill, people who make it, they say that Microsoft is sort of having a lot of issues with their update sizes, and they've had to go back and try and refix some of their updates, and they want to update the consoles at the same time.
Yeah, which is fair.
Yeah.
What other big news do we have, Vic?
All right, so like, apparently there's this commercial. Have you guys seen Breaking Bad at all?
Yeah.
Not yet.
So there's this one character, Jesse Pinkman, and he's played by Aaron Paul. And there's this commercial where he's talking about how he's done the acting gig, and he says Xbox on in the commercial, and that's been turning Xboxes on, which I think is pretty cool. Because half the time, yeah, he says Xbox on, and it's been turning. Xbox
is that the commercial where he's like sitting there and like he's talking about it, and it's like, oh, now connect like now $3.99 does not include Connect.
Oh my god, I can't believe he's.
Yeah, it's funny because that's been working than like actual people's connects. But yeah, that's just a cool thing.
Oh my gosh. I need to get a recording of that and just walk around people's houses of Xbox Ones and just play it. Just hit a button and Xbox on.
Yeah. Apparently that was happening with Podcast Unlocked, and like they were like, when they would save the thing like while they were doing their podcast, and like people would listen to it on their Xboxes, and then it would like turn it on or off.
Oh, I wish Ron McCaffrey would turn my Xbox on. He's the man.
Xbox off.
But
we just lost a viewer.
You have to confirm it though. You do Xbox off.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yes. What? That is such a bizarre mechanic.
Ridiculous.
I love that.
But speaking of Xbox, What do you guys think about the Microsoft conference, huh? You guys like it? I thought it was pretty good because it was just games, 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 games. No TV, no sports, no nothing. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I really liked the Xbox conference because, like, that's the thing. Like, they were talking about is like Phil Spencer. Now that he's the head of Xbox, he's a games man, and so like his whole goal with E3 and everything with Xbox in the end is like we want to win. We don't want to just like do all right. We want to pull ahead.
Awesome.
And like they came and they knew from last year and all the stuff that happened. Like they didn't need Usher on stage and all this nonsense. They just needed.
What do you mean?
Actually, he's the one that got me to buy an Xbox. You're pretty sick. Come on.
Usher did.
They just really needed games. That's what they did. Like they just had a list of just here's the game, we're gonna do another game, here's another one, here's this new game this one looks cool. I'm like, obviously, Xbox and Sony are coming out of the same like pot in terms of like third parties. So like a lot of it was this is the third party game you can get on both, but like there's a bunch of games that are exclusive. Like Forza Horizon looked really good.
Yeah, I'm a little. If you know what they did with the Forza game that came out during launch, I'm a little skeptic about that because they charged some serious money if you wanted to drive some cars.
Yeah.
If you wanted to drive cars, you had to pay some of the higher cars. You had to pay like upwards of like a couple $100 for a digital car.
Yeah, they tried to apologize for it though because they had free
I did not see any of that though.
Wait, explain this, Michael.
All of the Xbox One like launch games had some sort of thing that you could do to pay and play if you wanted after you bought the game. And for Forza, that was to buy tracks and to buy cars. All these cars you could work for on your own. However, people sort of added up the math, and they said that you would have to play the game for a ridiculous amount of time to unlock some of the highest end cars in the game. Or what you could do is buy the car with real money, and some of the higher end cars weren't $10, $20. They weren't $60. They were several $100s.
What? 100?
That's ridiculous.
Wait. Like upwards near 100 for one single drivable vehicle in a game? Right?
Yeah. One car to drive in the game.
Oh my.
That's ridiculous.
What?
Yeah, that's insane.
That insane is the right word. That is crazy.
Yeah.
Talk about ripping gamers off. I hope no one bought it.
I'm sure someone did, just because people have money and they will just
throw it. That is so nuts. Yeah, that pisses me off. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, seriously. But you know, cause the way this generation is going with all these microtransactions, it's just starting to be annoying. You know, cause even like some late last gen games like freaking Dead Space 3, I was playing that and they kept trying to get me to buy stuff. I'm like, no, it's Dead Space. It's for kill things.
Did it really?
Yeah,
you can buy stuff and stuff that you get in the game, but you can buy it to make it easier to like make better weapons sooner.
It was ridiculous, but
that is nuts. I'll even complain a little bit about WoW. It's been like what is it, close to a year without new content, and what did they do like last week? They've released a new mount on the store for now $30.
Dude,
what?
Wait. That's like you're talking about complaining about an amount that's $30, which when the first Spectral Horse came out, which made the millions, by the way, it was $25.
Oh yeah, listen, I'm okay with it being optional and stuff, but when you don't release other stuff and then suddenly put effort into this thing.
But like the point is like this current tier of rating isn't over. Like the WoW in and of itself is pretty much rating. Like dailies and stuff will take you so far. They'll always add new stuff to bring you back, new dungeons, new dailies. But like, if you're playing WoW a long time, you're more than likely rating. And like, a lot of people haven't even finished this tier, so they don't need to do new stuff. And they're working on new stuff. Putting in the horse is extra money that goes into them working on stuff. So.
Well, my main
still
thing.
Not kosher with that.
Here's a better way to like compare both the ideas. See, when you put money into a game like Forza, you change the way the game works. So you have to play hours and hours and hours to get better stuff. That's kind of what happened with Diablo 3 in the auction house. And once they took that out, you got to be able to actually get your loot right. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't influence. Once you put actual money into the game, it influences how the game works. And that's bad. Because you pay extra money and WoW, it doesn't influence how the game works. You know what I mean? It doesn't change the way the game is.
I guess it's just the fact that they put effort into that.
Yeah.
Rather than potentially something else is just it just irks me.
But like the amount of time it takes to honestly, it's not like they made a new model. Some of them they do, but the amount of time it takes to like reskin a model and put it up is nowhere near the amount of time it takes to like make a dungeon, make a raid, test it, and all this other stuff. So it's like
still ain't kosher, but I definitely get it though.
But anyway,
by the way, I have the actual prices right here of the Forza. I went to go and look it up real fast. The Lotus E21 costs. They do all their stuff they do all the money transaction in tokens. Like you buy tokens and you buy a car with tokens.
Oh, okay.
But the Lotus E21 costs 10,000 tokens, and then they have right here, 8,000 tokens is $100.
Oh,
that's
what?
pretty ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. Oh my god. Oh wow. That makes them make us money.
That is so insane.
They're like, we gotta make a sort of connect.
Oh my god. Oh, another thing I don't like that I think this was notable in Mortal Kombat. Oh, and Mass Effect season passes.
It seems like they're stopping those now more so.
That
was annoying.
That was ridiculous. To play online, it gave you like free downloadable content, and then you got to play online too if you bought a season pass. But like, you know, it was just like a regular pay thing, and you had to pay to play online. It's like, what is that?
I know. It sucks because I remember
that should hands down come with the game.
Yeah, it's part of the experience of having the game, you know. Because I remember getting it used or something, or borrowing from a friend, and I couldn't play online. I was like, "What? I wanted to try this thing that you guys made. That's awesome." You know.
Also, pay to win. I can't stand. Mass Effect had that in their multiplayer thing.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Where you had to buy like the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. You had to buy like these. I don't know. You pretty much bought items. You bought like a case, and then when you bought the case was like $10. You bought it, and it'd have like 10 random items in it. And like in that game, the way you progressed was by getting like more people on your side, and you could either win points and get them or buy them. And it was just like you're not gonna be as good as others and like finish the game in a very certain way unless you get all these people, which is gonna take far longer than simply buying it. And I didn't like that.
Well. Oh wow! Well, speaking of taking far long, we're not getting Halo 5 for a while. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh.
Yeah, This was kind of leaked, but yeah, Halo 5 isn't coming to like 2015. Most likely November. That's when they've been releasing the Halo games for
November.
ages.
Yeah. Forever.
What sucks is that last year they said the next part of Chief's story will take place this year. And we're not getting any next part. We're just getting all the old games, which is pretty cool too. You know, I can't wait to play.
But it's like the fact that you're getting all those old games, and a lot of them are being updated and all running natively on an Xbox One on one disc is pretty amazing.
Yeah, that actually will hold me over. That holds me over.
I don't know. The only thing I can take from that is the Halo 2 remake.
Yeah.
That is the real deal.
Because I mean I bought Halo Anniversary, which is nice. I don't need that again. I have Halo 3, still runs on a 360. I have Reach and ODST, still run on my 360.
No, but here's the difference though. Like, if you put in Halo 2, for instance, servers of Halo 2 are dead.
Well,
Can't play that online anymore. Halo 1 didn't have online, but now you're gonna be able to play Halo 1. Because here's the thing about
you can already play Halo 1. It's Halo Anniversary.
But the Anniversary isn't native Halo 1.
Yeah, it's not the native Halo 1. That's the thing. That's the big thing. And for someone like me, that's great because I never had an Xbox. So now I can go play those older games. That's why I'm hyped for it.
Yeah, I can see that. I guess. I guess it's just... But I'll take that as being Halo 2 Anniversary, which I'm fine with. I am excited for that game because that's going to be awesome. Halo 2 is so
So long as they don't try and charge me the cost of a console.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be like it's just going to be like the price of one game. That's what I think is to be amazing. Even if it's like $80, that's still a sick deal for every single Halo game.
But I have every single Halo game.
Yeah.
But I have them too. But the point is, like, I don't want to play Halo 1 on an original Xbox. I'd rather, like, I even have the Anniversary Edition, and it's like, I don't mind paying money to get Anniversary of 2, plus Anniversary of 1, plus 3, plus 4.
Yeah, I'd also rather have them come out with this and then have the next Halo come out next year instead of them having nothing and next Halo coming out next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I will say the only real positive that I see to this is that it's all gonna be on Xbox One.
mhm.
So then, all your friends who have an Xbox One, you can play with them. You know, like it's gonna.
I mean,
You know,
it's
you don't have to break out your 360 every time and hope that they haven't shut down the servers yet. If you wanna go for a rousing game of Halo 3, play some Driftball.
Although I have to say, part of playing older games for me is playing on the older console too. Like, I love playing Halo 1 on an Xbox, and I still play with the controller that's like a hamburger.
The Duke.
Yeah, honestly, like, I can understand your point to a certain point, but like that Xbox One, like original. The original Xbox controller sucks.
It's amazing.
It's so bulky and terrible.
You have no taste in controllers, Miles.
You don't have your hands aren't bad enough yet. Your hands aren't big enough. They need to be able to envelop that gigantic.
Oh my god!
I love it. It's so stupid. I love it.
Get good. Just get good. Get good. But oh my god! Speaking of get good, I don't think the new Fable game is going to be good. Personally, I'm not looking forward to it. There's no Peter Molyneux. Where's my dog? Where's my broken promises?
He left and made.
These freaking what are they doing with Fable?
I don't even.
They got rid of Peter Molyneux, like.
Well, no, they didn't get rid of him. He chose to leave.
Yeah, because he was like, after the monstrosity that was 3, he was like, I'm gonna bounce.
Just closed. Sorry.
Like
I'm sitting in front of my computer, and all of a sudden, Chrome's just like exit. Everything. I had like 3 things of Chrome running, and it's like, nope, not anymore.
Good thing it's not IE. Your computer would have froze.
Everything shuts down.
Oh my god.
That's why I stopped using IE.
Yeah.
Speaking of Internet Explorer, do you ever hear the joke that if Internet Explorer has like the balls to like ask you to be its like default browser, you have the balls to ask someone out on a date.
Oh god, you're right. Oh, I gotta make a phone call tomorrow.
That comparison. But anyway, Fable though. Wait, who did all of you play 3 or 2 or?
I played all the Fable games.
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of makes me upset.
Replaying Fable 2 again.
Yeah.
Slowly.
They're all games, but just.
Hey, what did you say?
Fable 3 was good up until its ending, where you're the king for like 120 days, and they just skip. And then half the people that weren't ready.
I remember that clearly because I remember seeing that number and I was like, okay, I have 149 days to go exactly. I'm sure we're gonna have one more last ditch effort and they're gonna tell us this is it. Are you sure?
Just that. They never tell you like, hey, it's done from here. I go into battle and everyone's dead. And then afterwards, all the cities are barren.
The second they gave me that choice, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna stop. I'm just gonna farm up my gold, and I'll come back to that later.
Mm-hmm.
I was so infuriated. I couldn't believe it.
I was like,
it took me so long to wait for all the NPCs to respawn too. They respawn over time. So effectively, if you really just love playing that game and you just sit there for days and play that game, everyone dying has no effect on the game.
Yeah.
There's no effect on the game because they all respawn in a couple weeks anyways. In a couple in-game weeks, all you do is travel back and forth between 2 cities constantly, and the only place that's affected is Bowerstone. Bowerstone's the only place that's affected.
Yeah. Also, the choices in that game. I mean, I think it was stylized, but it's ridiculous.
Yeah, the Fable 3 ones were like the worst. It's like, do you want to help the orphanage or do you want to have hookers everywhere?
It was.
I might have never mind.
The orphanage one was, it was, do you want to open an orphanage or like a brothel? It was like, well...
No. It was an orphanage. Let's get that one straight. It was an orphanage. You want to renovate the orphanage or kick them all out. Brothel.
It's like, what the heck is this? This isn't a choice.
Oh, man. But the conference and all had some, like, back to the conference, had some pretty good games. I mean, Evolved looked awesome. The Kraken.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool to show a new monster and the 4 new classes.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Like, they have different characters for each different character models for each class or whatever, and see the Kraken fly around or whatever.
I mean,
I watched.
They also had a tournament for that I was watching while I was waiting for the Smash one, and it's like it seems really ridiculously hard for the monster to win.
Yeah, well, that's true. It depends if you have if they have good teamwork on the other side. I mean, if they.
Is this the game that's like 4v1?
Yeah.
Is this the one? Yeah. Okay.
I definitely think it's going to be really hard for the monster to win on PC, but on the Xbox, I feel like it's going to be a little bit easier for the monster to win, personally. So.
It looks awesome. The concept is sweet.
Yeah.
I can't wait to play as Cthulhu. Straight up, that was the first thing I thought. I was like, man, you have to fight Cthulhu in this game. That's straight up.
Yeah.
And no one can say otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's Cthulhu right there, guys. That's
Cthulhu. I swear that freaking game back you made me play, where he freaking talks to the narrator. What's the name of that game again?
Cthulhu Saves the World by Z-Boyd.
Yeah. And you have groupies following you around and stuff.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
It's pretty awesome. But I think the biggest thing on Microsoft was, for me, actually might have been Crackdown. I think Crackdown was pretty awesome.
I think that was my favorite surprise.
Yeah,
I will say that.
I'd say favorite surprise. Favorite surprise.
Yeah.
But actually, my personal favorite game was Sunset Overdrive. Actually, because I thought it was cool how they mocked the freaking brown shooters or whatever, where a guy stuck behind cover. I thought that trailer was awesome. And the gameplay, just grinding around and how it moves, just reminded me of Jet Set Radio or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was pretty awesome. What do you guys think? What did you guys think for Microsoft? Your favorite game, whatever.
So I'm gonna be biased. My favorite game, well, Halo was really nice. I really liked Halo a lot. That whole idea of having all in one native in their own engine. They said 100 technical maps from the history of Halo. That seems pretty cool because I loved Halo 3 a lot. And so that's gonna be fun to play that again online and make maps around it. But
oh yeah, sorry, don't mean to interrupt you, but Arbiter's back finally.
Sorry, yeah, that's pretty cool too.
The greatest.
And in fact, you can finally play Halo and you can play Spartans versus Elites again. That hasn't happened in ages.
Ever since Halo 2, I've loved the Elites so much, and the Arbiter.
Play as the Arbiter, and you learn about his story in Halo 2. It is amazing. Oh, when you could turn invisible for the first time, and then when you play in Halo 2, and all of the little other guys follow you, the grunts. At times, hunters follow you too. You have a posse, and you can turn them all invisible. It was just so cool. I don't know why they dropped it. It was such a good mechanic, and also I believe in Halo 2, having the sword was the real deal. So and, the Arbiter started with the sword. Yeah. You had a sword and a plasma pistol, and it was I
think that there was a glitch where if you were playing on the Xbox. And you're playing split screen, where your sword had infinite charge on it because the UI couldn't display a charge.
That's
so
pretty
your
funny.
charge never ran out.
Oh wow!
God, Halo 2 had so many quirks about it too. There are vehicles in Halo 2 that are in no other Halo game. There's there's 4.
Was it a Spectre or something like that?
Yeah,
They made a covenant. They made a covenant warthog that you used once.
Well, the Spectre comes out in Halo Reach.
In Reach that I remember. Spectre.
In Reach, the Spectre comes back, but then there's also a troop carrier, similar to if you remember in Star Wars Episode 1, they have the droids come in those big things. It's kind of a similar thing where there's 12 of them, and they only can carry grunts. So that'll be sweet to see this giant transport come in modern graphics and drop off grunts and then just kill you on legendary.
Which happens often.
Oh, but
man. But but at the end of the day, though, Sony tried to come back and hit hard with their games. I also wasn't too impressed with Sony's conference. What really upset me was the way they worded certain things to make it seem like it was exclusive. They kept saying Destiny was a console. They kind of said it was a console exclusive when they said it was a timed exclusive. Yeah. Which will confuse.
Yeah, they had exclusive content, but
yeah, because I remember last time it was when Kingdom Hearts showed up and there's Kingdom Hearts at Sony. Oh my gosh, I need a PS4, but it's And then people were saying like, yeah, it's gonna be exclusive. Like, it's definitely not exclusive. If that game was exclusive, they would have explicitly said Kingdom Hearts only PS4.
Yeah, that would have got me to get a PS4.
I would have bought one, hands down. It would have even been competitive. I don't. Kills.
Yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, PlayStation. I mean, Sony's. It wasn't bad. It's just like the things on Microsoft, would more interest me more. And I hated the break when they started talking about their PlayStation TV or whatever, or YouTube. They're like, we got this big thing coming, YouTube.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. It's like, oh, you mean the thing I can already do on my Wii U?
Yeah,
and my
really.
Xbox?
Yeah.
And my television has YouTube on it. I can just press a button.
Your computer. What the heck?
Look, friend, we're talking about consoles here.
Yeah.
What do you?
Oh my god.
I say like with Michael, I'm kind of disappointed in Sony's because like it was all right, and then they had the like 20 to 30-minute break where they just talked about peripherals, and it just like killed all the hype, and then like I don't know, like you look at like
and when they
the
start to go on about like
it's not as
TVs
good.
and subscriptions and stuff like that, and look, that's all stuff that at one point I want to know about. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to let you build hype for me, to buy your stuff, and you're just telling me how I can spend my money on you. I don't care about how I can spend my money on you. I care about the things that I get for spending my money on you.
That's a good point. I feel like E3 isn't for information, it's for hype.
Yeah,
pretty much. And then that hype can definitely help your sales.
Yeah, no, E3 is to get you pumped about what they're gonna do.
Look at Titanfall. Titanfall had all this artificial hype. Like, where's the hype coming from? Like just because of E3, like all the advertisements they had.
Even
E3.
Watch Dogs, is so much around it, and it came out and still sold 4 million, but it definitely wasn't the game that was advertised at E3.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
If a game comes out at E3 and people say it's good, you're gonna believe it's good just because of the hype of E3.
Oh, of course, the presentation's ridiculous.
Yeah. That's why, like, games like Uncharted, the trailer was awesome because, like, at first we thought it was CG, but that was in-game. That's ridiculous. That was in-game.
Uncharted in-game. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Have you guys played the Uncharted series?
I played a little bit because,
I've
you like
played 2. A decent amount, but I haven't finished it.
I've played
I haven't played any of them.
Okay, I've played everyone. Let me tell you, those games are awesome. I've never felt... It's... Usually when I beat a game... you don't feel too, I don't know, you feel like great because you've beaten it. It's like, I'm finally done. When you beat a Mario game, it's like, finally, like, you killed Bowser. When you beat an Uncharted game, they, like, create a sense of, like, nostalgia for, like, 12 hours ago.
Oh,
like,
wow.
The endings are always what kills me in those games. They make you feel like you've been on such a journey. And it seriously is, too. And I played them in reverse order, too. And
really?
Yeah, just because I played the what was it, 3, I believe?
Yeah, 3.
I played 3 and I was like, this, and it was awesome. And I fell in love with it. So I was like, wow, let me play the other ones. And then I happened to just pick up 2. And then I played 1. So it was kind of neat to see the mechanics change. But the games are incredible. Yeah. And I never expected it, really.
That's true. Hey, Mike, what did you take home from the PS4 or the Sony conference? Like Little Big Planet, anything like something like that or something.
I mean, the one thing is because I never owned a PS3, and now I have a PS4 and not an Xbox. It's sort of a weird position for me because it's like Uncharted. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, aren't you missing all your IPs like Halo and like I guess you didn't play Gears that much. Right?
Yeah, I didn't play Gears, but after seeing some of the stuff with Halo and if they pushed the Halo button a lot more, I would feel a lot more nostalgic than I do now. But I still feel like some part of me wants to say that I made a mistake, but I'm gonna stick with the PS4 because it's a new console anyway.
Yeah. There's games for both. Most games are gonna be on both. There's just gonna be a few exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Miles? Take anything away from the Sony conference?
So I was thinking about like how Microsoft was pushing games. PS3 had that lull. And I'll come back to these numbers after Nintendo, but like just for a thought. So Microsoft showed off 20 games and Sony showed off 19. So even with the dip in between, there's still an equal amount of games being shown. And I think in terms of like new titles or like exclusive titles, I think Microsoft has more because you think like Phantom Dust, Halo, Crackdown, Scalebound, Fable, while PS4 had like Little Big Planet 3, Bloodborne,
You mean
Uncharted,
Bloodborne?
and like that was it.
Oh my god. Yeah. Another thing that kind of makes me mad with Sony's doing is like the Vita, how they're just killing the Vita over
Yeah,
here.
that's
Like,
another thing. Like they didn't talk about the Vita like at all.
yeah, they pretty much disregard that. Like, all right, we got this new thing called PlayStation TV. It just happens to play Vita games,
They put
even
the
though
Vita out. The Vita died. They grabbed the corpse of the Vita, chopped it up, and said, "Here."
you want it.
Like the only mention of Vita was like, oh, you can do off-screen play on your Vita. Like that doesn't sell me a Vita.
PlayStation Now or something like that. I was like, well, whatever. But like, it just upsets me how it's called the Vita TV in Japan, and over here it's called the PlayStation TV. That just makes me upset as someone who bought a Vita pretty early on. Who like, all right, guys, I trusted you because you got the PSP going. That was great. Now I got the Vita. I was like, I don't know what games I want for it anymore because you didn't tell me. You know what I mean?
Oh, I forgot. They also had Let It Die, the new the remake of Grim Fandango, and Magica 2.
Yeah.
Oh, Grim Fandango. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty cool how they brought that out with the friggin' letter.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty funny how they did that. But,
Yeah.
But I think Grim Fandango is actually a pretty good one that they're coming out with because there's
yeah.
a lot of nostalgia for those types of like adventure type games and I mean there really is and there's really not like a big spot for it. Like we talked about Z-Boyd, but they're more of the 1632-bit adventure type games.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like the Sam and Max type or I mean you have what's the one? Broken Age?
Yeah.
Broken Age, but that one's
Elijah Wood. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And Jack Black.
But that one's, sort of on the ropes because it was split into 2 parts yet, right? And we haven't gotten the second part yet.
Yeah, because I think they ran out of money or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for their like multi-million Kickstarter.
Dude.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
It was a lot.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, time to get to the real winner here.
Oh my god. Mortal Kombat X, not 10. That looks pretty awesome.
Mortal Kombat is my favorite fighting game by far, and that thing, dude, I cannot wait. I played Mortal Kombat 9 was actually my first one. Like I only played that. I only started liking Mortal Kombat like, well, I guess that was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
4 maybe. And that I played that to death. It was so cool. And then from there, I bought
2011, 3 years.
Oh, okay. Then I bought Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3 for the Sega Genesis. And then I played it on the Sega too, and it was just awesome. And so now I cannot wait for Mortal Kombat X.
There's a funny story about this game. Like, do you guys know Kiefer Sutherland? He's an actor or whatever.
Yeah.
He apparently leaked this game talking about. He said, "I can't wait for my acting position in Mortal Kombat." And
what?
funny thing about it is because Ed Boon he was on a Giant Bombcast the other day, and he was like, "No one asked me if Kiefer Sutherland was in the game." So they were like, "Is Kiefer in the game?" They were like, "No, he's not in the game." He was in the game. He wasn't in it. Yeah. Also, he said, yeah, that's pretty funny. Dude, Ed Boon's the man. He said that at the character select screen during the E3 build, there's a bunch of characters slots or whatever, and half of them are made up. Like you see a guy with a top hat, that might not be a character. He said they made half of them.
That's crazy. That's so interesting. That's kind of neat, though. It shows their ability to just pump them out. I mean, that game, which you guys sent me a video on a little while ago, and the person explaining it compared it to a mix between MK9 and Injustice.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't a fan of Justice, but I know you guys were. So, but I was a huge fan of the Mortal Kombat of MK9. So I think it'll still be sweet. But
yeah, it's still gonna play more like Mortal Kombat, just some Injustice things like the whole like stage hazards or like the stage or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that could work kind of well in Mortal Kombat.
No,
you know?
definitely. I mean, Injustice certainly got things right, but just overall, I wasn't a huge fan. But I could definitely see liking it though.
Yeah.
But the reason why I brought this up to Miles a while ago, but the reason why I like Mortal Kombat, it's like the sole reason too, is because there is a button to block. There is
Oh.
a distinct button, like no weird finagled way to stand still and block, but there is a button to stand there and hold your arms up.
Oh God, I don't like that. I don't like that.
I can't stand the fact that I have to like in general walk back to block and stuff. I want to be able to like advance, like actively advance and just piss someone off because they can't hit me, and then just get right in their face and then just do an uppercut. I mean, that's
I was more used to that stuff from Smash. So like when I played like Street Fighter on 3DS for the first time, realizing that you had to hold back to block was like a new thing, and like same thing with KI. I got used to it by then, but yeah, and Killer Instinct is the same thing. I was telling Chris the basic thing to do is like you just press down diagonally, and then you'll just crouch in place and be blocking.
That's not the same.
Unless they do an overhead, then you're gonna get hit.
Yeah, if they do an overhead, then you have to actually hit back.
Yeah, but I don't know. And Ed Boon's pretty crazy too. He was talking about the tech he has for like the fatalities. He's like you can cut people up ridiculous amounts of ways. Apparently, in the new one.
Well,
like,
yeah. Do you know in Mortal Kombat 9 So the reason why the fatalities could just happen was because the skeletons were already rendered. The models themselves physically had the skeletons inside of them.
That's pretty cool.
So that way, when it just happened, it could happen on the fly without some sort of weird loading screen or something because it was kind of already there.
Oh,
which is pretty crazy and really cool. Which is why I made fatalities possible. So like, there's actually some meat to your character, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Did you see?
So pretty creepy.
Yeah, you get to see all the meat inside your character.
Oh, man.
Perfect.
Talk about blood and meat. Miles, how do you feel about Bloodborne, by the way? Like being a Sony exclusive now, the next kind of issue in the Souls series, which not really, but you know.
It kind of isn't because it was like Blood Souls, then yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to think because that trailer was kind of weird, and then you didn't really see any gameplay. So
I saw some gameplay. It looks a lot like the Souls gameplay, especially like because you traverse the white light to go to the boss, and like it's just a lot quicker too. They said it's a lot quicker than the Souls series. But
yeah, I heard it was similar because the person I watched that does like the lore behind the Souls series and like goes into deeper about the lore and how characters are connected and stuff had like a video for Project Beast, which like it was its code name, and like yeah, so it was gonna play very similar to the Souls game, and I'll probably try it at least. I really do like the Souls series. It's a lot of fun, so I'll probably give it a shot. And it's interesting that it's Sony exclusive. Gives me another reason for the PlayStation 4. Because like in the past, the only reason I bought the PS3 was because of exclusives. Major one was Infamous. That's the major reason I got the PS4. But then Infamous Second Son, you beat in a day, and it's like
I beat it in one sitting. Yeah, fair. That game was really short. Oh man, but like, next topic or whatever. I think EA might have won the conference.
I think EA was the worst. I'm sorry, they were terrible. They didn't do anything. Like EA's conference was like, okay, so basically they come out like, okay, we're talking about conference. Dragon Age game we already know about coming out October 7th. Cool thing. Oh, first it was Star Wars Battlefront. Didn't show anything. Just we went to the movie locations and filmed on sites to get an idea. And
I can't wait for that game, but
that should just been like a YouTube video.
Then I went to like Dragon Age. It went to Sims 4. Also, we already know about. That's September 2nd. Talked about sports, which none of us care about except golf without limits or a battle cruiser.
That's like half their company.
He didn't give
most hype.
He did not care. He just was golfing. He didn't care about the ship or anything. That was pretty awesome.
A battle cruiser like dries up onto the golf course and he just keeps golfing. Like what is this? This is PGA Tour? Okay.
This is the greatest.
They just ran. Oh, also that game runs on Frostbite Engine 3. Which why do you need that for a golf game? I'll never know.
Because if you're gonna have ships crashing into your golf courses, you're gonna need a good engine.
Definitely. Oh my god. And how about the
It's not Frostbite Engine for the golf. It's for all the random events that they have planned.
Yeah, seriously. How about the friggin' Sims game? I'm sorry to cut you off. What were you saying, Mouse?
I know it's fine. So Sims 4 is I mean, it looks like The Sims still. So it's cool. I love The Sims as a series. It's a lot of fun. But like, I don't think they needed. I guess they didn't have anything else. But I don't think they needed that at E3 because it was The Sims.
I don't know. Okay, so I've been following The Sims hard. It's one of my favorite games ever. But they're seriously switching stuff up from 3 to 4. They have a couple videos up now regarding the build mode and building your Sims. So for one thing, they scaled down the Sims. They don't look as real. They look a bit more cartoony now. The whole game as a whole really does, which is really cool. But the
So
build
you
mode
mean
though,
the Sims look like how they always looked?
did you play? Did you play three? Oh, okay,
Yes, I played
yeah,
like
three.
except one. I played all the Sims.
Sure. So in 3, they absolutely went for a more realistic look. In 4, if you just compare the models side by side, it's readily noticeable that in 4 they're going for a more cartoony, mystical feel, kind of like they had in 2. So one is comparable to 3, while 2 is comparable to 4. In 4 too, in the build mode, they revamped that hard. It's kind of tough to explain, but there's a lot going on. Rooms can you're no longer limited to just squares. You can copy full buildings and move them. You can copy full floors and move them. There's all kinds. You can put a pre-rendered room kind of, and then change it in any way, and the furniture will morph to the size of the room. Add more furniture, change it. I think it. I think it's actually looking promising.
Yeah, like the stuff you're talking about now is much more exciting than what they showed. If they showed some of that,
Yeah,
maybe I'd be more interested
yeah.
than like what they
Yeah,
showed at E3, which
Yeah,
is
they
like,
showed the
hey,
video. That
we can make Barack Obama and then make him dance.
Hey, Barack was
okay.
mad in that video. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was interesting, but the game is definitely better than what they showed. But certainly at E3 it was stupid, and I agree with Miles. I feel like if they weren't gonna do it justice, it shouldn't have even been there.
Yeah, that makes sense. Dude.
And other than that, they showed that Criterion game, which was unnamed, which was pretty cool. You got like helicopters, ATVs, and sky suits and stuff. Which that looked, I mean, it looked pretty cool, but they didn't really show any of it. But like pre-alpha stuff that wasn't even textured.
Before going to Nintendo, I have a question for you guys. Do you think that like there shouldn't be E3 anymore? Because after watching Nintendo's press conference, we'll get to in a second, they've had videos and live streams from the Treehouse. I think this whole press conference thing is a little much nowadays. I don't think we don't need it.
I don't know, because like the thing that you're always gonna miss from Nintendo's thing, like if Nintendo would have had like an actual show when like Zelda came up, people would have gone nuts. And it would have been
crazy.
Huge.
That's true. That is
It
true.
would have been insane.
Oh,
It's tough because financially, maybe they could do without it. Because a lot of things, you learn through the internet anyway. But just to have the experience and just know that, like, 3 days a year, there's this crazy thing that goes on. And it's,
Yeah.
like, strictly about video games, and it is nuts. And it costs a bunch of money, and, like, a lot of people go, and it's what you're going to hear about for the next couple weeks. And, like, generally, I think this is why it starts to fail because of things like what we said earlier, like Microsoft said, or like I think we said Microsoft or E3 or EA, whatever. They didn't tell us anything new, so there was no hype behind it. EA, like E3, like I said earlier, should be all about hype. It should be like getting you pumped for the next year, and like the next year is gonna be awesome. And so when we have conferences that are just like, look at these games you guys know about, and we show you a little bit more footage, it's lame. Like, Nintendo did it right, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah, seriously. Mike, you said you got to actually play Battlefield Hardline. How was that? Because I got into the beta just now, which is pretty awesome. Like, I just got the email,
Nice.
so I'm gonna try it out tomorrow. But what do you think?
I mean, I haven't played a Battlefield game in a while. But I mean, it's at the moment, because it's still very early beta. You wouldn't be too surprised to say that it's not too surprising to say that it's basically Battlefield, except the criminals are wearing a different suit, and the police are actually not police; they're the army.
Yeah,
because they're dressed like the army. They're not police.
Yeah, I get you.
I don't like that they're pretty much gonna charge you $60 for an expansion pack.
That's understandable.
Unless it changes a lot, but from what I've seen, it's not too impressive. They could certainly change it, and it could be dope. But
I mean,
as of right
they
now,
don't have a whole lot of stuff in it right now.
Yeah.
One of the things I like is that it's all gonna be like city sort of stuff, and I'm a big fan of city like
Combat.
maps in like shooter games and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And, because that provides like a very urban feel,
Buildings,
and there's a lot of like locations. There's a lot of especially if you go for like more of an open, like more of a bigger map type.
Mhm.
Like there'll be like locations and landmarks, and people will know where certain things are, and your one friend might know like where a good sniper spot is, or and then they have was it the Levolution or whatever?
Levolution. Yeah, that's pretty.
Levolution.
It's pretty epic.
Call it nowadays. I mean,
Dude, it's the evolution of the level. Levolution.
it only makes sense.
What a
That and driver
bastard child.
tires are like so bad. They
Hey,
just call it what it
Driver
is.
Towers is bad, but Levolution is pretty dope.
Yeah.
Let's get real. Oh man.
Just see
But
how we can put together, but
yeah. I don't know. Hopefully it turns out for the best. I mean, I feel like it could be a good game. But anyway, speaking of good games and doing well,
Ooh.
Nintendo Wii U. My
Oh.
body is Reggie. Let's go. Nintendo was pretty awesome. Like with Smash Brothers.
Okay,
with
can we just
Bayonetta.
talk about the intro video where
Friggin'
they were
so-
fighting?
what, right?
Oh my god.
And then like as they were fighting, the second they sat down with controllers, like the back of your mind is like, what is this? And I'm like, oh, it's gonna be a me. Especially when the Smash Bros logo popped up.
Yeah, I
But,
remember
like-
talking. Oh, it's pretty awesome. Go ahead, go
Yeah,
ahead.
because I was kind of against Mii's.
So
And
so was
another
I
character
initially.
who we'll talk about later, I was against them for a while because like I thought they'd just be goofy, but like
Mhm.
the way they handle them, the way they look and everything, they just look cool. They look like they fit. So I'm really happy with the way they came out. And
They
also
certainly did it right.
yeah.
the fact that
definitely
they
did it
have
right.
he mentioned that the Mii's have 3 moves, like 3 move sets. Each special is 3 different moves. There's a total of 36 moves. So that'd be
Mhm.
9 characters.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy. It'll make people actually play Mii's.
Dude, the new Smash was looking pretty good. The tournament was pretty fun to watch too. Like when Mega Man had his friggin' like final match.
Oh, everyone went
place-
nuts.
The place lost it.
Dude, Jeff Keighley almost lost his mind. He's like, "Where am I? What year is it?"
What year is it?
No, Jeff Keighley was.
What
My
nuts.
brand.
No, the Smash was looking good. I mean, I don't know. I like what I saw because people were saying it was a mix between like Brawl and Melee, like in terms of speed, and like a lot of people were like happy about the elimination, or not happy, but they're filling out the new twist with like no more L canceling. They're leaving out some technical aspects of Melee, and like that made Melee hard to get into. What do you think about that, Mouse?
So, me and Victor are kind of the competitive smashers here, and Chris and Mike are the casuals.
Ugh.
I don't feel bad for that.
But
I do not regret that decision. I'm not a big fighting game person, so that's
Ugh.
all right.
so I also went and played it at a Best Buy,
Mhm.
and I waited 4 hours to play 2 minutes of gameplay, but it was worth it. And I also got to
Mhm.
play the 3DS 2 different times. But
Would
like,
you play it?
on the Wii U, I played as Greninja,
Mhm.
and he felt
Typical.
really good. I liked the way he felt. Like he felt like he just, I don't know, playing the game just felt right to me. As someone who's been playing Brawl for a long time, has been playing PM more recently, it just felt right. Like the speed was nice. Everything just felt correct is the best way I can describe it, because it's hard to go into details when you only have 2 minutes. For the 3DS, first thing I noticed when I put my hands on it, like in the back of your mind, I think it's a 3DS, maybe a bit clunky, a bit slow. The thing is smooth as hell. Like you can tell playing it, it's 60 FPS. It just feels like really good.
How are not so much the visuals, but seeing the scale shrunk? Does that make it any harder?
I think
does
it
that
doesn't
change it?
matter as much because everything is the same scale.
Sure.
Even though it's a smaller screen, but everything is the same proportion compared
okay,
to
I
a big
get you.
screen. So it still felt
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
I'm actually excited for the Amiibo because even when Nintendo has like these add-ons, they're pretty awesome.
Well,
So,
this
like-
is what I was telling Michael a while ago. The thing about the Amiibo is that the only hardware you have to buy is the Amiibo itself.
Yeah,
like,
you don't have to pay anything.
and for that reason, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna try it at least.
Yeah, because you buy it, you can train your characters. We can have our characters battle and play Pokemon music to it. It's gonna be it's gonna be awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be
I
pretty
know,
cool.
right?
That's the fact, like they level, they keep customized move sets, and you can just put it back to the figure, so you can always
Yeah.
just like take your figure to like maybe they do like a side event where it's like an Amiibo tournament, and you put your Amiibo to someone else, and they just play, and like that's really cool to have that native
honestly-
in the game.
I honestly feel like when we go to like Smash tournaments, they might have like a little small thing for like not for money, just for fun or something like that. You know, to have your amiibos fight each other. That'd be awesome to watch. I think.
Oh yeah, but the thing is, if they required you to be like, oh, but you need like the Amiibo, I don't know, like Amiibo World Inputter, you know, that was like,
you
like
need the special input cable with the
Yeah.
adapter and
That
the
was like,
things.
and it would be
Proprietary
like
stuff, yeah.
$80.
All sold
like,
separately.
Oh, be like, I mean, I don't want it that badly, but now, the character's gonna cost like what, $15-$20?
Yeah,
I'll
you
pick
just
it up.
place it on the gamepad itself, and it just loads in. It's pretty amazing.
To
Yeah.
me, that is like Nintendo at its best, like doing it right.
One has a gamepad too. Like you can't have a Wii without a gamepad because it comes with the Wii U. So.
Literally, yeah, you can't.
Oh man, but like I don't know. I'm pretty
You
happy.
can't get an Xbox without a Kinect.
I don't know. Like we talked about this, and like I'm just
I'll
sad
care
by
about
that.
Like,
I'm just sad by that because it's
Yeah.
like the whole idea behind having the Kinect with the Xbox is every single person that buys an Xbox One will have a Kinect, so you know that you can make a game for the Kinect, and that every person that owns one has one, and that you can have that functionality.
I agree with you, but I also agree with the fact that you can't force people to want to use something. When like the big deciding factor for a lot of people was like, I don't want to pay $100 for a thing I'm not going to use. You know what I mean? Of course they're going to take
Yeah.
it. People predicted they were going to take it up because everyone hated it. Not everyone, but a lot of people didn't like it. I like it. You like it, but a lot of casuals.
I mean,
No,
it just
but-
added so much. Like Victor came over, like you sit down, it recognizes your face, it signs you in. The other cool thing is the controllers themselves have like little infrared on the front, like remote controls for like just cable boxes and stuff. And like you can hand it, like we did this. Like I was playing Killer Instinct, gave the controller to Victor, signed me out, signed him in as player 1, and switched to his controls.
Yeah,
I mean, that's awesome.
It put my custom inputs in automatically. That's
Oh.
what's awesome about it.
See, as a business strategy, I don't blame them.
Mhm.
But I think the people that would care about that aspect are gonna get it. Like me, I'm gonna buy the Xbox One eventually, and I'm hands down gonna buy it with the freaking
Yeah, I'm getting it with
like,
Kinect.
like
Especially
Kinect.
for
So
like the Snap thing. Snap works better with Kinect
Yeah.
because I went over miles to try to use it without the freaking Kinect. It's such a pain to use Snap without Kinect. It really is.
and while I agree with Miles, I think it deters developers from utilizing it. It doesn't completely make it null and void. So
Mhm.
the aspect is still there, and while it doesn't force people to now, it gives people who would do it anyway the option to still do it. And plus, it's not like now you have the Xbox One that can never use the Kinect. If there's a game that uses it and you love it, you can still buy it.
Yeah.
You can always
That's
buy
so
it.
true.
You can always buy a Kinect separately.
But
you
I
can always,
definitely
you can always have a
yeah.
not buyer's remorse and
Yeah.
buy something instead.
I definitely see Miles's point though, because if
Mhm.
you constantly had it, then devs would use it, and it could then it could finally be what it should have been in the first place.
But the one thing is that selling it without a Kinect is for the people who don't want it with a Kinect, and those people probably wouldn't use the Kinect. Like
Yeah,
if,
no, definitely, and
and they
it's
wouldn't,
definitely a
but
business
they wouldn't
strategy.
buy a game that used the Kinect, and
Right.
then it would then it would also be like it could also be false marketing scores for the devs who are like, so many people love this thing and they make a game with the Kinect, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, no one actually likes the Kinect, they all just have it.
Yeah. That's true.
Well, I
I
always
So
think of it more
we
instead
have
of
a large
like
audience, but they're not buying.
I
Yeah.
always thought of it more instead of like a Kinect focused game as like when games have stuff that use the Kinect to
Like
enhance the
Apex Legends,
gameplay.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like
I'm gonna be honest. When Skyrim utilized the shouts,
yeah, with the
It's
update that was
amazing.
pretty cool.
it was awesome. I would be running around and I just yell "Fusroda," and like
You blast your companions off a
It
mountain.
was awesome, and not to mention, it certainly gave me the feeling of being into the game so much more. Like,
Yeah.
to me, it didn't feel cheap. It felt like, this is cool, because this is what my character does, now I'm doing it,
Mhm.
I felt that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was one of, I think, the better implemented systems to it.
Also, I
Definitely.
really liked it with like Mass Effect 3 when they had it in it. The only problem with
yeah,
the old
it
Kinect
was-
would pick up the TV, so sometimes they'd pick the wrong option and would
Oh,
like
yeah,
keep
that's
switching
right.
my weapon or moving my companions around,
Yeah,
so I had to
yeah.
turn it off for that reason. But like, I just like that kind of idea of like
Yeah.
you can have it and it can boost what you're doing, and it's
Mhm.
sad that like some game developers might not even design with that in mind anymore because people won't
Well,
have
the
it.
one thing is that because we're gonna go third-party developers, right? A third-party developer would only develop for Microsoft if they were only making the game for Microsoft with the Kinect, because no other game has a Kinect. Just for the same reason why it's also hard to develop for the Wii, is that it's hard to do
Stuff on the gamepad.
Yeah, it's hard to do stuff on the gamepad, and you have to integrate that, and it can't just be a controller, because if it's just a controller, then the gamepad is just a really big, clunky controller that's worse than the original Xbox.
It's actually funny because actually one first-party game actually did that, and it was Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I'm pretty sure the gamepad is just blank, like they don't use it at all.
It's pretty much blank. But like, speaking of things that are hard to do on Wii U, playing Bayonetta 1 was pretty hard to do because you could not do it. But now I think it's pretty awesome how if you get Bayonetta 2, which is coming out later this year, you get the first game for free. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, see, I saw that.
And content.
I've never played the Bayonetta games, so that's certainly incentive for me to potentially invest in it.
As a person who loves character action games like Bayonetta, pretty much anything can be a make because it's pretty awesome. Bayonetta 1 is running at like 60 FPS, which is like necessary. Like that needs to be that high to play that game because it's really hard to play. But I think it's pretty awesome that they're bringing it back for free. And the second one looks pretty good too as well. Like I can't wait to play that. But I know Miles is probably hyped for Xenoblade.
Oh yes, I've been waiting for this. So Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Yeah, I can't wait for it.
Amazing.
I know.
I have to say one thing. Like looking at the trailer this year from what they showed last year, it looks not as good. I will mention that. That's something I noticed, but it still looks really good. And hopefully, maybe with some touch-ups and stuff, it'll look better. But like what they showed wasn't as good as like the first trailers from last year. But
the first trailer from last year was like, oh my god, that was ridiculous.
It was, like, ridiculous.
I remember you guys showing me that. I was like, what? This isn't a game. This is just like a light. It's amazing.
Oh,
so cool.
Speaking of ridiculous.
Wait, I haven't even started.
Start it, Miles.
Okay, so I just want to hit a couple points. I want to hit a couple points that they did during. So they brought it to Treehouse and they played it for like extended periods of maybe like 30 to 40 minutes. They were playing the game.
Oh, I didn't watch that. Yeah.
And so like they showed like it's very similar. It's the Xenoblade like and past Xenogears games. There's this thing called Soul Voice, which was in Xenoblade. I can't remember what they called it, but basically, like something happens in your party, like the big QuickTime event happens, and like you encourage a party member when they miss or stuff like that. And like in this game, that's the only way you can heal other party members, which was interesting because you could just heal. You had people that could just heal anyone before, but you only can heal yourself now. You can switch between melee and ranged. So before you were like each person assigned a certain weapon, but now you can actually switch between them depending on what's better for certain fights, which is pretty cool. It's very much I wrote open world-esque because it seemed open world, but I'm not entirely sure. So we have to see about that.
Yeah.
You actually make your own character, which was interesting.
That's pretty cool, actually.
That is cool.
Because we weren't sure. They never mentioned that, but they showed like you actually do create your own character and talk about the story. So the Earth is destroyed in alien war, and they're going to a different planet, and that's where it takes place. We don't know if it's a sequel to the original Xenoblade. It probably isn't. They say it's a spiritual successor, but you never know. It could show up or something like that. So you don't know. And this was really cool. So the main character and the other characters actually have multiple different classes, and you can take the spells from the different classes and mix and match them, which I thought that was pretty cool. And they also said you can change classes in the middle of combat.
Oh, that's wild.
Oh, that's awesome, actually. Yeah. I like when you can do stuff like that. Like I remember in Kingdom Hearts 2, I was freaking amazed how you could switch out your party in the middle of combat. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
I was like, tomorrow you did it again.
It'll be different from here on out.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles X looks really, really good, and I cannot wait for that game.
Yeah. Speaking of combat, though, Nintendo with their freaking third-person Splatoon game where you're playing as that freaking ink kid.
Okay, you saw that being actually awesome.
Yeah. Like, the trailer came out, and you're like, what is this? And you're like just wondering, and like, it looks really good.
I was so skeptical about it at first, but I was like, if all four of us got on that, I feel like we could have some fun.
Oh, you could just teleport anywhere on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Got an ink on everything.
Splatoon is 4-on-4 too, so that'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
It would be that. Yeah, that has potential. And who the hell saw that coming?
Yeah.
Well, when they first showed it, I was like, what the hell? I was like, Nintendo, you were so close. But then, they kill it with that bizarre game.
I think what's pretty cool is like they were talking about a treehouse of how Nintendo will take a general IP like a shooter, throw their own spin on it, and make it something different. And it still has what that game has, but it's a little different, maybe a bit more family friendly, but still has that competitive aspect to it.
Oh yeah, now Nintendo doing it right.
Yeah,
Speaking of
seriously.
this, I just gotta bring it up. The freaking Zelda game. Oh my goodness. Oh,
Beautiful. Oh my
I
god.
That looks so
lost
good.
it. Oh,
Like when they were just talking about it and saying like it's open world, you can go as far as the mountains in the background. It's like goodness gracious.
oh.
That's
And
ridiculous.
that looks like the Kingdom of Hyrule too. In the back, the volcano. It looks like Death Mountain. So we may be returning to the world of Ocarina and Twilight Princess. Something interesting I read was that when I was looking, I forget where it was, but at the very end where they show like the demo kind of, it's definitely like a CGI render of when like the monster is chasing supposedly Link. Well, when he shoots it, someone said, we never explicitly said that was Link.
Yeah, I saw that too.
They already shot it down. I think they shot that down. That it was Zelda. They never said it was Link, but everyone thought it was a girl, but they shot that down. I remember reading that.
Oh, okay. Well, it's hands down a guy, but they never said it was Link, which is awesome. And how about when he pulls out that crazy bow and arrow? Oh my god.
Yeah, it seems like it's more like not really futuristic, but maybe blending a bit of that into like the Zelda universe.
Yeah,
Or that could have just been magic. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's magic a little bit, but
it was pretty
it's
awesome.
cool magic though. Yeah,
yeah, it looked really awesome.
It's interesting that they're saying the reason why this is going to Hyrule Warriors too, which looks awesome and different. The reason why they went forward with Hyrule Warriors is so they could make an effort to spin the Legend of Zelda series in a different way, not just stick to the formula, given everyone loves it, but not just stick to this very strict formula so everyone knows what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An effort to change the series.
Everyone knows that in the bushes, there's the rubies.
Hey,
You break the pots. Everyone
Yeah.
knows that.
You gotta do this. Get the hook
You always
shot. Then you get the
You always collect three things as like the intro to the game, and then you have to collect like 12.
Master Sword shows up.
Yeah,
Somehow.
exactly. So they said Hyrule Warriors was an effort to try to expand the universe. So when they make another game, they have some room to play around with it a little bit, which I love. That's exactly what that series needed. Speaking of which,
what's pretty sick with Hyrule Warriors before we move on is like
So-
they also showed that off at Treehouse, and like when they were showing it, they showed like, oh, you're doing this area, they're trying to stop this dragon, it's flying, you can't get it down, you find the hook shot. It's like, okay, you think you're just gonna hook it down, but no, but you're not gonna just hook it down. It wouldn't work. So you call the spirit, I can't remember her name, but the Great Fairy Queen, something like that.
Oh,
think
yeah,
that's, like,
yeah.
pretty much
Yeah.
what her name is.
So you call her, and then like she summons a bunch of little hook shots that like since you normally upgrade your weapons, that fire at them. That doesn't work either. So you decide, okay, and you hook the moon from Majora's Mask and pull it down to pull the dragon to the ground.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
So that game is just gonna do a bunch of like different Zelda. They say they're gonna do a
Just,
bunch of like Zelda
over the
references like
top.
that. They're just over the top.
Oh,
See,
love that.
Although that was pretty awesome, and I love Zelda. But my only problem with this game is that like I don't like Muso games. You know what I mean? I always try to play Dynasty Warriors. I never really liked them because like if you like character action games, I find it harder to like Muso games because they're like not dumbed down, but character action games are more involved with combos and stuff, and Muso games seem a little bit different.
Zelda games, hands down, focus on puzzle solving over combat. Like by a long, even the combat is a puzzle. The combat, you're timing stuff, but you're not stringing combos together. The only game that had that was Twilight Princess, where you like learn different moves and stuff. But the other one's like, which weapon? Well, for this guy, you got to use this weapon. And then the fight's not hard; it's just the puzzle of beating it.
Mhm.
But I definitely get that feeling though. It's funny. I once had someone refer to The Legend of Zelda as a RPG, which I never really saw it as.
It kind of is though when you think about it.
Because you name your character, you name everything. You take the role as Link, but I always see it as Link. To me, it
I always
is
just name it Link. And
to
I don't
me,
think
it is
renaming it really helps.
It is an adventure game, and you are playing a strict role, but it's not necessarily that, which is so interesting. I never saw it in that light,
Mhm.
But
Oh man, what'd you guys take from Ubisoft conference?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
because we saw
Assassin's Creed.
yeah, pretty
Assassin's
much.
Creed Unity looked amazing.
Yeah,
A
I
4-player Assassin's Creed game was like it looks really good.
Assassin's Creed is so interesting because the first game, they like revitalized the series in a major
The first game
way.
is nothing like the rest of the games, pretty much.
Yeah.
It kind of is, but like
Well,
not
it's
really.
like after like so you have the first game, right, which is a bit of a grind. Then the second game, which is so similar, but then they release Brotherhood, which changes everything. And then they have Revelations, which is another step back. And then they release the freaking third one, which is fun, but that's also a grind fest. But then so like the series was looking down, but then they released this latest one, and it's awesome. The boat thing, it is a
Yeah, 4 is a lot of fun.
But the thing is that 4 isn't. It's nothing. You're not playing an assassin. You're playing a pirate. You're not an assassin. You're not running around cities and you're parkouring and being awesome like that. You have an assassin's outfit and you're a pirate.
Well, the thing is, in that game, I mean, so they've strayed from what an assassin is. An assassin in that game is now simply a faction.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the assassins fighting the Templars. It's no longer, or at least currently, in that game, it wasn't an assassin, which they kind of got away from that. I kind of agree. I think that's a bit of a cop-out. But with that being said, though, the game was awesome. And they seriously should change it. Although I think they're going to go back to the roots a little bit in Unity.
I did actually like I did really like the first Assassin's Creed game. Like
it's awesome.
I liked 1, but after playing 2, I realized how bad 1 was.
Yeah, no, I liked 1 too, but like, it wasn't.
2 was a pretty big step. One was very simplistic and much of a grind.
Yeah, 1 was like way too much.
The biggest thing with 1 is the fact that you couldn't swim, and that's the only thing that I couldn't get in my mind as to why Altair dissolves in water.
His ancestors did swim. Oh wait, the one guy can swim. Everyone else can swim. Wait. I think the animus couldn't render it or something.
Well, it's that, and I hated before you do any major assassination, you had to do like the same 4 missions, or there's like you had to
that
like
was
the same.
super annoying. I remember going into 2 like, when do I have to do the missions? Oh, you don't have to. You just go.
Yeah.
Like, what?
You just do it. Yeah, what is one of them was like, to follow someone. No,
follow someone, you had to eavesdrop, you had to kill a minor target, and like,
Yeah, there was eavesdropping, killing. There was like the 4 same ones between like for like every assassination. It was like,
by the way, there was actually like an additional like 5 or 6 missions that you could do for the PC version. By the way.
Oh really?
Yeah, the PC version actually had more stuff to do.
Oh, interesting.
Than the console versions of the first game. Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I love.
But also.
Yeah, a bit of a grind.
One-sided.
But I love the theme and the setting of the newest one. It's the French Revolution. Am I right?
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I mean, that is
kind of gruesome too.
Yeah. Which for me makes the guns seem more like legitimate, like because in the past, like having a hidden gun, it was just sort of unfair, but it was also way too loud at the same time.
Yeah, that's
so
like
it's just really clunky. It was too loud, too powerful.
Yeah, because I always played stealth,
just,
so I never used a hidden gun except like on a rooftop when someone across and there's only him, because like I always want to be stealthy and you can't use it. That's why they have like the hidden crossbow. I think they're called the Phantom Blade right now. Yeah. That looks really cool.
See, I would use it in the same scenario, or I just use it in the middle of battle. When there was someone with a giant axe that I just, after like the 12th parry, it was getting old.
Yeah,
I would like run away really fast and just target him and try to get a bullet off as fast as I could, because there was always a one-hit kill.
Yeah.
Get an Indiana Jones moment in there.
Yeah,
where he just, pulls out his axe, whips it around, and you just go.
Exactly.
Down.
I don't know. I heard there's like an actual crouch button, which sounds minuscule, but I'm actually hyped for that because like I got annoyed by like
it's Assassin's Creed, and they have and you can't crouch.
Yeah, you just walk like awkwardly, like in front of the guy.
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed has some interesting mechanics.
Yeah.
That it's a game that I'm always a little overwhelmed with by like my choices. So I usually just ignore most of the choices and I just do the same thing every single time.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
There's always so many weapons. There's like so many options. You can do things in a bunch of ways, places to hide. Really cool. But I'm always a little bit confused because I eventually memorize like how to run, like holding A and run and stuff. But then once I think about it, I'm like, wait, what am I doing?
Yeah. In this defense about the crouch mechanic, it makes sense why I didn't have it before. Cause like the game was made about like I think hiding in plain sight was a big thing about it too. You know what I mean?
which
Like
I
you would.
always love. I
That was
love
pretty
that.
cool. I love
Yeah,
hiding.
and can I
Yeah.
say that I love the fact that the assassins now aren't all in these perfectly white suits that stand out from every crowd that they're in. That's
Yeah,
not a
but now
crowd
they
of
can't hide with
monks
priests anymore,
from
Michael. Come
the
on.
first
Well, yeah,
Assassin's Creed
the
game.
whole
Yeah,
reason was to
that's true.
hide with the priests.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but the
I
thing is that you would think that their outfits would evolve as time went on, but no, no. You're in Venice wearing a full white suit. You're in Assassin's Creed 3. You're a Native American wearing a full white suit with a hood and all that.
Well,
You don't
that
think you
one
would?
had little tinges that looked like, the colonial
I mean,
soldiers.
I definitely get you, but the whole idea is just to, relate back.
Symbolize, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
back to the man, Altair. You know.
Yeah. But
Mhm.
Yeah, no,
the
it certainly doesn't make sense.
the cloak and the hood is is what you see and what is sort of makes that impression. But
Yeah.
however, when you're in the setting, when you're in the game, it sort of looks weird. With
Oh,
Altair, it didn't look weird because that was the setting. Everything
You
was
look
built
so
around
out
that.
of place.
Yeah.
I
Have you,
wonder which one's the assassin.
Have you guys starting to figure out what the problem with Ubisoft games yet? Ubisoft open world games? Because
Not really.
they all have a similar structure of like you have your character, you go capture the base, you climb this high thing and get a viewpoint. You know what I mean? Because
Oh,
you do
that's
that
actually, yeah, they do that in
you
Far
do
Cry
that in
as
Far
well.
Cry,
Yeah.
you do that
Oh,
in,
yeah,
in Watch Dogs, you do that in Assassin's Creed, and like
Yeah, they
it's kind
do
of
do
getting
that in
annoying.
Far Cry too. That's so
Yeah.
interesting.
Because I remember playing Far Cry, I'm climbing a tower to look around the map. I was like, wait a minute, this is Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. Huh.
But anyway, just to wrap things up a little bit, I want to start off with Michael. Michael, who do you think won the whole show? Like in general, like in terms of like the three big ones.
Oh, like as in the three big ones?
I think
Yeah.
it should be like all the press conferences, maybe.
All right, all the press conferences. I just didn't want to include the two
Alright.
because I didn't think that's what they
Alright.
won. But
I mean, mine is fairly straightforward. I think EA had the best showing. I will say that.
Okay, now we almost went into this before, but I want you to go into this and explain how EA had the best.
yeah,
the one-
please tell me.
Well, the one thing is that the games that EA is bringing out, I sort of push their sports section off to the side because that's something that they have to do.
But that was half
anyways.
their conference.
It was, and it's half their company.
I agree with
EA
myself,
Sports
yeah.
is an entire company.
Too much money to
That
ignore,
if
you know?
the rest of EA sunk, EA Sports could still float.
That is
Yeah.
true.
I agree. It's like a necessary evil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so, like, I do wish that they'd showed us a lot more of Dragon Age Inquisition. They showed us like here are some of your companions, and we're like, great. What's actually happening in this world? No clue. Okay.
Was it EA or Microsoft that actually showed gaplay and the new UI?
It was EA.
It was
EA, I think.
Yeah, it was EA because they initially had the one. They started off rolling like a cutscene with a lady playing a bass.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bass,
Yes.
Oh yeah. The
Cello.
freaking-
Cello.
Yeah.
Cello.
That was
And,
awesome.
And then they went into like talking about the gameplay and stuff like that, and they showed the gameplay, and that looked really cool to me. Except that they were showing console, which console. But like a lot of their, let me pull this up here. A lot of the stuff that they were sort of showing off was more. I mean, granted, we'd seen a lot of it already, but the thing is that doesn't make me any less hyped for it, and that doesn't mean that I don't like hearing about it more. The stuff that, like, the Halo stuff, that sounds great to me. However, I would have loved to see more stuff about Halo 5 instead of the Halo, like, bundle collection thing.
No, they
I
did show
would- I
stuff in
would've
Halo 5.
loved
You got
to
to
see
see
the
two Spartans
new-
running.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh, I can understand. I can understand why you picked EA, but like, what was your favorite game of the week? Let's say that.
My number one game was actually it was Assassin's Creed Unity.
Okay.
That was my favorite showing because that was I was not expecting that. I wasn't. I was expecting an Assassin's Creed game. I'll say that. I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting a 4-player multiplayer real time running around Assassin's Creeding with your friends.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome. Assassin's Creeding. That's great. Oh man, but all right. So I guess to you, Miles, what was your favorite? I guess conference of the show.
I think by far Nintendo won. Like those numbers I talked before, so I'm going back to those. So Sony showed 19 games, Microsoft showed 20 games. So they post on Smash Reddit the Nintendo press kit and how to get into it. That press kit had 24 games for the Wii U that they brought to the show. It had 45. Those were by the way, those 24 were all first party.
Wait. Before you go to
I
numbers,
love Nintendo.
before you go to numbers, we're counting just the conference showing, like you know what I mean, like nothing after, like just the original. You know what I mean? The original video.
That I don't know exact numbers.
Yeah, because Microsoft, I think they've shown more games.
No, I don't think they did. I think Microsoft and Sony normally they just show what they're going to show, and that's what they have. But Nintendo did differently, where they showed some things, but they had more, and they talked about it in different things. That's why I listed them, because they had 24 first party. That was Wii U only. I'm pretty sure it was Wii U only, all first party. And then they had 45 third party games. 27 of those were for the Wii U. Those were both Wii U and 3DS.
Those are some
Watch
numbers.
Dogs was one of them.
Yeah, Watch Dogs was one of them. Actually, I cut off a couple. Like there was a couple that were on both, so I didn't count those, and I don't think I counted Watch Dogs, so I took off a couple, trying to make sure to count for that. But they just had so many games that they were bringing to show. Like I just thought, like they definitely, and then their press conference was fun. Like they hit the Robot Chicken skits, which were actually done by Robot Chicken. They came and said
funny. That was pretty great.
I thought they did really well.
I agree. They had the best. I think in terms of just the presentation, how they presented their games, I think they had the best. But what was your game of the show?
So it was a tie for me, because Smash 4 had to be up there, because I'm super excited for that game, and I really cannot wait for that to come out. But another game that I was super excited to see and really, really liked everything they showed, especially they went in depth with it, was Xenoblade Chronicles X, of course. And I really cannot wait for that game either. So Smash 4, I put it there because, like, it's coming out soon, and Xenoblade is like 2015 down the line.
I don't know. I personally think that Microsoft won, just because like they were like all about games, and they recovered from last year, and like just showing how they like the community affects what they do. You know what I mean? That was big on me. That's why I like Microsoft showing so much. And how Phil Spencer was like, "Yo, games, you want them? I got them, my friend." That was awesome. You know what I mean? And,
You
like,
want them? I got them.
Yeah, definitely better than the Zynga guy from last year.
Oh, what do you mean?
What do you mean? You don't want to have your Xbox always be online, and you don't want if you don't want all these features we're having, we have a console for you. It's called the Xbox 360. He was quoted saying that.
Oh
so
god.
bad.
And I don't know, it was cool seeing Kamiya on stage. Like he was on stage for long. He was like, "Yo guys, I'm Kamiya. I made this game. Watch it." Like I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
My game of the show was definitely Sunset Overdrive, because that's what swayed me from getting a PS4 and Xbox. Now I'm getting an Xbox because of that. Like the trailer was awesome. It was funny, and like it was cool to see the guy hop around. Like I said earlier, he was grinding and stuff. Because I'm a big fan of open world games with like a bunch of cool guns and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty awesome. But Chris, who do you think won it?
Well, while EA, Microsoft, and Sony were really cute with all their presentations, and it was like really nice. I think Nintendo, by and large, just demolished the competition.
Yeah,
it was, and the thing was, they had to, right? Because everyone was like, Nintendo had to come up big, otherwise they ain't doing so hot. I mean, they're still huge, but sales weren't as good as they thought it was gonna be, and the Wii U wasn't exactly what everyone wanted. All right,
yeah,
but they came charging. Like we said, their presentation was insane. Like I think they had the best presentation, and they weren't even there.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Their presentation was awesome, and it was a video, and it was a video so good that it blew away a live cellist. I mean, it was it was the real deal. They showed the games that matter. It's interesting because I had the opposite idea with Miles, just because I didn't watch all the Treehouse stuff and whatnot. But I feel like Nintendo showed off like a decent amount of games in the conference, but like they showed games that mattered. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't like they had first party and they were just killing it. It was like what? It was the Mario Maker.
Yeah.
They had a Kirby game. They had a Yoshi game. They had Smash. They had Toad, and most importantly, that blew. This is also my game of the conference was revealing the new Zelda game. I didn't have to see game because I know this is going to be the real deal. Like, Zelda is one of the best series of games to ever be constructed. And with what they showed, and all they showed was like a still image of Link like chilling there, and then they had this like, then they had like this CGI. Maybe it was gameplay. I don't know.
I think it was in game. I think it was captured in game. Like
Yeah.
Engine.
So that was interesting. But I can tell that game's gonna have some serious heart. I think that's going to be a true Zelda game. They're going to change things up, and it's going to be real.
Yeah.
And I think just almost with that alone, Nintendo won. I feel like Nintendo had the most heart in their games, and you know, people said they had to come swinging, and they did just that.
Yeah. What I really like Nintendo's presentation. I also feel like people that had buyer's remorse that bought a Wii U, they don't have that anymore. You know what I mean? They got to see gameplay. Everyone that has buyer's remorse with like an Xbox or a PS4, they're gonna have to wait till 2015. We're getting a lot of stuff in the next 6 months. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, that's why I'm happy I got a Wii. Like last semester, I was like, should I get a Wii U or should I get an Xbox? And I got a Wii U instead, and I'm not upset about it. You know?
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing is, I think that's fitting because the Wii U came out so much earlier than the rest of the consoles.
That is true.
That's like if they did come out at the same time, then everyone who owned a Wii U would actually have a much more legitimate reason to complain about waiting for so long because they've been waiting for quite a bit longer.
Well, I mean, what's sad is like the Wii U has had games and they've been good games. It's like they're not their big hitters, so people have been waiting.
It's just not the games.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. You need a game to market your system, and they haven't had one of those yet.
Well, right now, the one that's done it, I think, Mario Kart. Mario Kart just a
that one does seem to. That one is getting a lot of really good press.
And it was such a good time, like when they released it, because I hear a bunch of people now is like, "Oh, I'll just buy a Wii U now with the Mario Kart 8 bundle because I get a free game on top of that."
Exactly.
And I've seen everything else that's coming, so like, they just like their timing of that was like so good. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh man, that's pretty crazy. Well, I have one more question before we like end the show tonight. Michael, if you could play one game tomorrow from E3, what would it be?
You know, it's actually because like a lot of the games I'm really looking forward to are generally multiplayer games. However, if there's actually one game that I could play tomorrow. It's strange, but it's No Man's Sky.
Oh, that looks awesome. Oh my god.
That is looking so awesome. And it's the first time that I heard about it, and since then I've been, I've been trying to find more information about that. I've been trying to get more, like, I signed up for the newsletter and all that jazz that they got going on, and that's all looking. The game just looks fantastic. The little bit they showed, like, and it is like permadeath stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I heard if you play for like hundreds of hours or some ridiculous number, if you're an idiot and you go try to fight someone and he kills you, you can lose a lot of work. So like they want to put like a huge penalty for dying, because it was in contrast to like GTA 5, where if you kill someone, they lose like $50 maybe. It's not that big of a.
Or if they have no money, you have to pay for their hospital bill.
Yeah, that's pretty funny actually.
That's hilarious.
And you, the planets that you go to, they're not just scenery. Like, you find resources and you adventure there, and the wildlife there can be hostile. It can be very hostile.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that they said that they made a ton of different types of all different animals and creatures and beasts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's all looking really awesome to me. Plus the space aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I saw the part that was all. It was all looking really cool up until in the little like demo thing that they showed, where the guy got into his spaceship and flew up, and he turned the corner and there's like an enemy fleet right there, and and him and his friends chased down 3 of the enemy fleet onto the surface of this thing and killed them all. And it's like, wait, hold on. This thing has levels, like a lot of levels.
Yeah, it's
Like,
pretty awesome. Yeah, I've been hearing a few things about that too. Like, say you say you find a new species, apparently your name will be tied to that, and so like this person discovered the species. You know what I mean? Which is pretty cool. I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's completely procedural generated.
Hmm.
However, it's literally constantly procedurally generating, so it's constantly making more stuff. It's not like if you may like if you've ever played a game Starbound, it's it has a bunch of procedurally generated worlds. However, all the worlds that you go to are the same ones. There's still too many to actually go to. However, No Man's Sky is literally constantly making a new world, and every time a character is created, you are given a planet that is just yours.
That's pretty crazy.
That's pretty sweet.
Like every time a character is created, a planet is created, and I'm just thinking like, if a ton of people play this game, it's gonna be a massive freaking universe. They did say that they're not looking to make like a giant MMO. However, they are looking to do the one guy said more Dark Souls-esque, but not really.
Dark Souls.
How the multiplayer is gonna work. Yeah, he said that he wants like players and stuff like that to be able to like drop in and out of like friends' games and like be part of it. Like have a shared universe sort
that
of
makes
thing.
sense. And like sometimes you can see other players walking around and stuff doing their own thing. I know what you mean.
Because of how big it's gonna be, they're like, we don't want you to. You're not gonna be constantly running into people like all the time. You know.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though. So, Chris, if you could play one game tomorrow, what would it be? I know it's tough.
So,
it's tough.
I don't just want to say. All right, so I could pick the easy route and say The Legend of Zelda, but I won't, because I think my choice would be the anniversary edition of Halo 2.
Oh, that's a good choice.
Because the Halo series gives me such nostalgia and pleasure, and to relive those Halo 2 levels with the modern graphics and modern engine will be like ecstasy to me.
Oh my god!
I cannot wait to play that again. It will be awesome. Halo 1 was awesome, but that was my brother's game. That was a little bit older than I was. Halo 2, I was just young enough to understand what was going on, and then I replayed it at an older age, and it's ridiculous. So if I could play one right now, it would probably be that.
I can't wait for the Scarabs, man. The Scarabs were my favorite.
That's true.
Dude.
I almost forgot all about that. That was so great in Halo 2.
That was the first time that they showed off the Scarabs, too.
Yeah.
And
or they showed off so many things. I can't wait to play as the Covenant again.
Oh my god!
I mean,
I want to be the Arbiter, like just
the best character.
Literally, like the best character.
I mean, that is going to be that. I'm buying the bundle because of that.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and cop out and agree with you, Chris, because I can't wait for this Halo collection. And I remember me and you played the remake of the first one. Like, it was my first time playing Halo 1, and we played like all night. It was ridiculously fun,
Dude, Anniversary was so sweet. It was perfect. It was just what I needed.
Yeah.
They did them justice.
Yeah, seriously. Last but not least, Miles, what would you want to play tomorrow?
So, you all know I love Smash, and the easy answer would be Smash 4. But Smash 4 is coming on 3DS in October, so it's coming very soon, so I'm willing to wait for that. My real answer is Xenoblade Chronicles X. I cannot wait for this game. Like, let me tell you, I got Xenoblade for Christmas, and I was lucky. I stayed up like all night, and like in a span of a couple days, I already put in 24 hours, and I was not even done the first segment of that game. Like, Xenoblade is such an amazing RPG, and it's so much fun. Like, I need to go back and finish it because it's amazing. I cannot wait for Xenoblade Chronicles X. Like, I'm gonna get that game, and like you can make your own character, and like something I really love in RPG is the ability to switch between class, take abilities that are the best from those classes, and put them into other classes. I love that in
really cool. Make hybrids.
I love that in Penny Arcade on the Precipice of Darkness 3. I love that in Bravely Default, and I can't believe the Xenoblade is going to bring that in. Like, that's going to be amazing. I cannot wait for that game.
Yeah, dude, it's going to be great. So many good games come out. It's just a good time to be a gamer. No matter what system you have, no matter what you... You know what I mean? There's something you could play, which is pretty awesome, I think.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh man, but yeah, it was a great first podcast. I loved it. It was awesome doing this with you guys,
Oh yeah.
and hopefully we can keep doing this, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
All
There
right.
we go. Why don't
Oh,
you
yeah,
say
oh,
where
yes,
people
yeah.
can follow
Sorry.
you?
We're new to this. Okay, so you can follow me on Twitter at Black Otaku at SJU. All right. Any of you guys got any Twitters you want to plug? Miles, you got something?
Yeah, you can follow me on my Twitter. It's Twitter and it's at McDareth. Also follow me on Twitch. That's Twitch TV/McDareth, which is where we will always do the live streaming of these podcasts when they happen.
Mm-hmm. All right, Chris.
I got nothing. You can follow me on Facebook if you want.
Okay, so by next week, Chris will have a Twitter.
Yeah. Same with you, Michael.
You can find me on twitter.com/mewhatname or at mewhatname. I also have a Tumblr which I do nothing with, which is also mewhatname. I'm mewhatname on everything. If you see mewhatname, that is me.
Perfect.
All right, guys. See you later.
Yep.
Have
Yes.
a good one.
Y'all for watching or listening.
Jesus.